Oh, wait, I forgot the theme song, I think. It is 5:47. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Paul. How you doing?
Fantastic, thank you.
Kids, haven't heard from you all weekend. How the hell are you?
Good.
Awesome.
What mischief did you youngsters get into this weekend?
Oh, nothing too crazy.
You're a friggin' disappointment.
Your
How's-
riding crop stayed in the closet?
Oh, my riding crop? Yeah.
She does that to me every opening. Let me ask you a question. What? Yeah, I have a riding crop, by the way. I actually do.
So does Tori.
I'm good. Oh, that's right. I saw you. She does your stinky wood night or whatever it is.
What?
What is it? Christmas Eve? Dirty Christmas
Sexy
Eve?
Christmas Eve. Night,
Oh,
'twas
yeah.
the night before
You've
Sexy
seen
Christmas.
Her crop? Her switch?
I have. I've seen her. I've never seen her switch, but I'd pay good money. I'll tell you that right now. So I started the show with, I don't know the theme song because I was looking for the SWAT theme song. If I'd asked Derek, I'm sure he would have found it's not important, buddy. And I didn't ask him. But I'm a little concerned about this moment in time, and that is I kind of knew some of the things I was going to talk about. Amy's been out of town. Some stuff happened there.
Uh-oh.
You know, see, that's the thing. If it was like that kind of thing, what I'd do is I'd make it right up to the point where she divorces me, and I would tell you that story.
Yeah.
But no, not that interesting. Mostly me whining away.
And your house didn't burn down?
My house didn't burn, although you're closer than you might think. So I had some ideas of what I'd say from 4:45, 5:45 till close to 6, and you know, I was ready to do it and talk about it, and then the SWAT team pulls up outside my house this morning.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
I come down. Now I'm alone except for my kitty. My wife was supposed to come home yesterday. I left for the airport to get her. Get a text. She can't come home. She's staying in Oakland. She'll be home this morning, but I didn't have to go get her. So nothing great happened. So I walked downstairs this morning in my little underwears because I'm adorable that way. They got pizzas all over them thanks to that company of yours, Me Undies, and they're adorable, and I just like them. And then I see what I can only surmise to be 5 cops,
Wow.
all lights on, in my driveway.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. And I'm standing behind all this glass. So if I'm getting sniped, like if they've got one of those, those SWATs that people do,
Yeah.
they're
Right.
pranks, right?
Yeah.
I said, I am not standing in the right spot here. And I go to flip out and move and cry like a baby. And I look and I realize I don't know if it's tempered glass, but it's a design, like etched glass. The doors, the fancy glass in the middle and on the sides is all etched.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, right. Like
there's
almost stained glass, but
yes, but without the
not
stain.
colorful. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So it's a prism of lights. So I go, I'm going to open the door and I'm going to discuss this with the SWAT team, a bunch of crazy people.
In your underwear. That's
underwear.
a great idea.
Well,
yeah.
I appeared around. No, I didn't. Hey, I figured I was getting swatted. I can show up in my underwear, and they're big, they're cute underwear. So I opened the door not to yell, first to assess. Am I dead now? What's going to happen here? I assume I'm not dead. I didn't do it, and they usually won't open fire that fast. In Queen Anne, they'll probably ask a couple of questions of Queen Anne before we shoot you,
You'd
which
hope
they
so.
did not. Thank you. Turns out to be the paper boy.
Why did he have 5 squad cars with him?
I will tell you why. Because of the etched glass. It sent it all over the interior of my house, like separate, like Christmas lights through a prism.
Oh, it was just his headlights.
It was just
or whatever?
one headlight, and he put on the emergency blinkers because he's behind my car, which I've seen him actually
okay.
do before. I just didn't put it together. So I have already started the car remotely as I see this. As I go in the bedroom to put more on, he's gone. So it's a little startle. Now, you're going to have to stay with me through this next part because I'm not even sure how it happened. It happened 6 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. I'm in the parking lot. I park far away, so I get the steps.
Yeah.
I'm walking, and I can't tell you exactly where it happened. It seems like you would remember exactly where this happened. I look, and I don't know what makes me look down, because sometimes people compliment me on my T-shirt, and I think, oh, what the hell am I wearing? And by the way, it's usually Ziggy Stardust or Labyrinth. People love those shirts.
Yeah.
So I look down, and right on the white part of the writing on my shirt where it says Buddy Guy or whatever it says, I see a laser pointer.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's what I
Someone's
said.
trying to shoot you.
Pointed
The
right-
sniper is back.
So now you
Yeah.
probably know why I want to know the SWAT theme song, which I don't know, which wouldn't help this story anyway, because I'm a little freaked out still. And I, for the life of me, still can't tell what happened. So I'm walking, I see the thing, I do what I can only think would be the wrong thing. I stop, making myself
You're supposed to hit
way
the dirt.
easier. Yeah, there's no dirt, there's concrete, and I'm getting old.
Or run in a zigzag pattern.
A serpentine shell. Yeah, I saw that movie. But I believe now, because I couldn't make it happen again. So I run away. And then I went, wait a minute. Nobody's sniping me with a laser pointer. Who the hell's sniping me
know.
with a laser pointer? That's crazy. So I go back and I see a couple of pieces of equipment up on the roof that blink a red light. And I see something that looks like it could have been a red light coming from across the train yards, but now there's a train. So you can't tell.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe somebody was trying, like a Killer Elite, a movie from 1977, I believe. Killer Elite was trying to assassinate me in the parking lot because they didn't get me at home.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a shot off.
No, shut up.
That's one.
That's one.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I
The
was,
scary one.
It was weird. It's just so, on the way in after seeing what I thought being the SWAT team, I thought I'd say to you guys, man, I'm a little bit more alert, but I'm not really. If you're going to kill me, it's really, don't wake me up about it. That's all I have to
Wish
say.
I had a laser pointer
So-
right now to point at you.
It was, I would have you arrested. I'm in a helicopter. And you can't do that. I don't know. Don't bother me.
If you are in a helicopter, we shouldn't point a laser
No,
pointer
that's
at you.
exactly my
dangerous.
point. When it's like a $400 fine or something like that, and you
Yeah.
can go to jail. It's a federal
Yeah.
crime. Don't be stupid with your laser pointer. So had the chance to go to 7-Eleven recently, and you know what? Man, I'm heartbroken. You know what they've done?
What?
So if I said they've replaced there, what would
Slurpees?
You, yeah, that's what I would think too. You're really close,
The
equipment-wise.
hot dog that's going round and round
No,
forever.
they never replaced that. Have you seen? It is the straws.
They're
Oh.
gone.
The cool. Well, they're
Are they
kind of
paper
not gone.
straws?
Yes.
No, you can't do that
Into
to
a
my Slurpee.
And with no scooper whammy face.
No.
Yeah. Man, you weren't even alive when I was doing very bad things with the scooper spoon straw. It was very exciting. We did the same thing like McDonald's caught on in a hurry. They put out this little teaspoon to stir your coffee with. And the second they put out, they went, this looks like an awful lot like some butthead will do cocaine with. And then all us buttheads started doing it. And they took it off the market, as far as I can tell, in a day.
Oh,
They hit
yeah.
the market and they went, whoops, and took it off. And I want to save the world as much as the next guy. Maybe not as the next guy, but a group of guys.
Some of the guys.
Some of the guys, I want to save the world that bad. But first of all, you need that scoop. Can't you make that scoop out of paper? The little spoon?
I don't know. I don't think you can't have a Slurpee with a paper straw.
Yeah, it really feels that way. And the part that's in the Slurpee holds up because it's so frozen. The part in your mouth starts to deteriorate within the first couple of sips.
It's
It
awful.
starts to biodegrade or whatever they want it to do. So 7-Eleven's making me mad. And so I was there with Amy, and we're walking in the door, and a guy says, "Hey, will you buy me a soda?" Although he did not say it that well. You don't want to say bum. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother bums. I don't know who it'd bother, but it bothers somebody apparently. But
So don't say it.
well, you would call you'd have to think of other words to call the guy. He's beat to hell. One of his lips is really swollen. His face is all red on one side. This guy's a wreck, man.
Wow.
And he's sitting up against, I guess, the red box with his feet flat on the ground, and a SUV has pulled in front of him. And I don't know if they didn't see him or were being jerks, but he had to slide his legs back a little, but he didn't move. So he's smushed between the bumper of like an Escalade and the red box.
Wow.
And he says, "Will you buy me a soda?" So I don't know who says sure, me or Amy or both of us, but we say sure. What kind? And he says, Four Loko. Now, I know from experience, Four Loko is not a soda, but this is it. Amy and I got in a fight. She said, "No, you can't enable that guy." And I said, "That dude's not going to be here long. I'll be proud to buy him his last Four Loko." That's my stand.
A jackknife semi-truck has snarled traffic. It was an accident that happened late last night, and traffic is still snarled this morning on I-5 in Tacoma. This jackknife semi was blocking one direction of traffic completely because of all the chaos. Now, what happened was about 11:30 last night, a semi driving south on I-5 jackknife. It struck the barrier separating the two directions of traffic and then caused another semi to hit the barrier. So 5 other vehicles wound up involved in this accident. They're still trying to clean up because diesel was spilled from the roadway, prolonging the cleanup process. Now, this has been causing a lot of trouble. Derek will continue to keep you posted on the cleanup of this accident and other issues for your morning commute.
I was going to make a big thing about that's the corner of 38th and South Tacoma Way is the intersection of Savings, according to Phil Burns. And I went, Well, what am I going to say that's good about a huge crash outside a shop? Maybe I'll ignore it. And maybe I fail to.
And they're not usually open at 6.
You don't know. Open 24 hours a day at TacomaDodge.com. See dealer details for all the details. It's almost what I say. That sounded drunk a little bit. Sorry about that. You know, my wife's been out of town. You don't know what could happen.
There will be no charge for that, Phil Bivens.
Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You pay for the good ones, you pay for the bad ones.
And further north, another accident causing chaos. 5:30 yesterday morning, a 2-vehicle crash near Beth's Cafe on Aurora left one driver dead. 2 vehicles were both going southbound on Aurora when one of the drivers swerved into the other, causing one of the vehicles to drive off the road and into a building right next to Beth's Cafe. The driver of the victim's vehicle died at the scene. The driver in the opposite vehicle arrested for possible DUI and vehicular homicide.
Super, super sad.
Yeah.
You ever been to Beth's Cafe?
No, I've seen it on a bunch of those cooking shows.
They make a
Travel
12 egg omelet. Have you been there?
I've been there.
What'd you have?
I'm sorry, I had a grilled cheese.
That's quite all right.
You didn't have the 12 egg omelet?
I did not have the 12
What
egg
I would
omelet.
do is I would have that for several people because
Yeah.
it seems crazy otherwise. And I'm not about those contests where you make yourself sick. I
Right.
do it for nothing. Thank you.
They serve it on a pizza pan.
Is that what they do?
The omelet, yeah.
That's huge.
If I had $1.
You'd have no money.
The owner of a Washington seafood company has been sentenced to prison for over-harvesting sea cucumbers.
Really?
Federal prosecutors on Friday said the 62-year-old man was sentenced to 3 years in prison and must pay $1.5 million in restitution.
Yeah. Okay, so there's way more to this story. Not $1 million in actual sea cucumbers. They're crap. You know, some people use I just don't care for them personally, but overfishing sea cucumbers doesn't get you actual prison. What else did this guy do?
Nothing. He overfished sea
That's
cucumbers,
it.
Danny. 250,000 pounds overfishing sea cucumbers. His company then sold them to Asia and other parts of the U.S. and made a lot of money.
Yeah. How
These
many
are-
sea cucumbers is okay? Or are they too short or too long?
No, it depends on where you're fishing because some of the fishing he did was in tribal lands and fisheries. Some of them were non, so it totally depends on time of year and where you're fishing.
I'm just shocked, though, that it's not like an unending supply of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know one person who really likes them. Do I?
They're pretty gross. But a lot of times they get dried and used in Chinese medicine. They look like pickles that might throw up on you.
I hate it when they do that.
Have you ever had a cucumber throw up on you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, if you accidentally catch one on your fishing line, it's like a protective reaction that it explodes its guts on you.
Oh, you're trying. So spitting is a protective thing.
I
Well, if I'd
say
known that, I wouldn't have gotten so mad.
actually.
So the daily limit for recreational sea cucumber fishing is 12. I would imagine
I'd
that
imagine
the
you beat
commercial
that.
the commercial guys can probably do a little more.
But
But
not
if you
much.
want to go out and get sea cucumbers, you can do 12 a day.
They're crazy with that. For now, if you want to dive for abalone, no tanks of any kind. You got to be able to go
Really?
down, get them, harvest them,
Wow.
throw them in your bag.
You have to because otherwise those get overfished pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're not all
Abalone.
they. I thought they were rated.
They don't taste good, abalone.
They taste
Yeah.
okay done properly, but I bought some at Costco's thinking I was all famous, or not famous, fancy.
Yeah.
And I try
Either one.
It turns out, yeah, whatever. I'm famous for being fancy. They come with their guts attached.
That's
I didn't
gross.
know that. You have to get them out of that shell, and you can see that's a stomach.
Gross.
Ah.
There's a poke place I really like, FOB Poke in Belltown. And Matt went one time without me and got me these little scallops. I was so excited for little scallops. They had the guts attached. I do not want the guts attached on my scallops.
They shouldn't have if you were eating.
They were little bay scallops, but they still had the stringy long thingy that attaches it to the shell.
So you had poke scallops.
How
Am
do
I
you
done,
pronounce
Jim Moore?
poke?
Pokey. Oh, I get that I'm wrong on half of these things.
are wrong.
I'm just wrong with the multitudes, and you're just right by yourself.
I would say poke, but scallops, not scallops.
You'd say poke.
Yeah, but
Well,
I thought
that's-
that's how you say it.
Just so you know, that's okay.
Poke is okay.
Poke is okay. That's a banner. Banner? I don't know what you did wrong.
That works.
It works.
Okay, it works. I'm sorry, it wakes. That's how you pronounce that.
Late
You're
last night,
Popeye.
Canada and the United States reached a deal for Canada to stay in the free trade pact with the United States and Mexico. Now, you may not realize today is October 1st, and they needed to make an agreement come to fruition before midnight last night and they did.
They did.
They said in a joint statement, the U.S. trade rep and then the Canadian foreign minister said this will strengthen the middle class. This will create good, well-paying jobs. We love each other, blah, blah, blah,
Blah, blah, blah.
blah.
All right.
So it won't be called NAFTA anymore. According to Donald Trump, it will be called USMCA, or the
It's
United,
almost the Marines.
Yeah.
United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement.
So when he said he was going to get rid of NAFTA, what he meant was he was just going to rename it. Still us, Canada, and Mexico having a trade agreement.
Yeah, but it's I believe it to be a different agreement. I believe he said we'll pull out of all of this if you don't agree to these changes, and they did. I think they all caved.
It's definitely got to be different. It has a different name.
It has a different name,
Totally different
absolutely.
name, too.
But I mean, it's up on the government's website. At least they said this on TV that I could check out all the changes. I just didn't.
Well, and it still has hurdles to go through. It's not like just magic. All of a sudden, this is in place today. It's an agreement that will then get voted on. But according to those who made this agreement, it will give U.S. farmers greater access to the Canadian dairy market. And the problem for Canada was tariffs on cars, trucks, and auto parts imported into the United States. So it looks like everyone is happy right now. And we'll see if this all goes through with its new name. Sad news from that terrible earthquake and tsunami that happened on Friday. The number of dead has continued to climb throughout the weekend and is now at more than 800. Now, on Friday, the numbers, of course, hadn't really come in because it had just happened when this show was on. But they said that once the tsunami hit, those who were affected by it skyrocketed, and they are really concerned that this number is going to continue to grow.
Now, what's it at, in the 800s, did you say?
Yeah, 832. But as we speak, it's probably climbed already.
I'm sure.
And in Tucson, Arizona, a Border Patrol agent must pay $220,000 in fines after starting the sawmill fire during a gender reveal party. Dennis Dickey, age 37, pled guilty to this federal charge, is set for 5 years of probation, and must pay for all of the damage done. What it costs to fight this fire.
Is he fired?
I don't know that he's fired, but I feel like in a
How's
way
he going
he
to pay
should
back
be.
$250,000 without a job?
Right.
I thought it had to be
Yeah.
while he was smuggling drugs on the border. Of course he'll pay this back. He's got it in his pocket. But it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Yeah, this is something that happened off the job, just in his private life. He's shooting one of those exploding targets,
Yep.
and it's going to have pink smoke if it's a girl and blue smoke if it's a boy, and start a
I'm
wildfire
going
if
to guess
it's...
at this point he's having a baby.
Yeah, that's what it was, a gender reveal
gender
party.
reveal. I didn't know what it was.
party.
I never heard of it.
Oh,
before.
yeah,
I thought
so-
everybody in the, a lot of people want to know your gender at work these days.
It's in addition to a baby shower, it's another way for you to have your friends and family come bring you gifts for your
Right.
baby that's coming.
Very-
up.
And guns, gifts and guns.
Gifts
Very
and guns,
big
yeah.
trend right now. People filming it, then putting it to
Right.
YouTube or Facebook. But gender reveal parties are for pregnant couples to disclose the gender of their baby, and as Paul said, have a big party. So he was holding this party, shot a high-velocity firearm at a target, which was intended to be either blue or pink powder. Look, everybody, it's a boy, and everybody cheers. Woo, here are your presents. Well, this did not go as planned. The dry conditions around made it so that there were sparks and then that fire, and he will have to pay for what required to be 800 firefighters. Hundreds of people had to be evacuated from their homes.
800 firefighters?
Yes.
That's a lot of
45,000 acres burned,
Jeez.
all because of him.
And all 45,000 acres of that pink smoke. It was actually really beautiful. Really. Text that word right now to 200 for your chance to win $1,000. Not quite enough for the $8 million cost of that fire, but
Well,
$1,000 in your pocket, that'd be pretty
Not
good.
bad.
They told him he could do it in installments, so that would help.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
he's
good.
texting right now. While speaking at a rally for Senate candidate and State Attorney General Patrick Morrisey in West Virginia, Donald Trump spoke out about his evolving relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
And I was really being tough, and so was he. And we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. Okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters. And they're great letters. We fell in love.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Well, they fell in love. What else can you say?
A second Trump-Kim summit seems to be in the works as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has accepted an invitation to visit Pyongyang to begin planning.
All right. Well, it sounds nice. They're all in love.
Yeah.
There's going to be kimchi involved.
Do you
That's
think
the
they
vice president?
Do you think they have to wait till the third summit before they take things to the next level?
I feel they do because Kim's never going to wear a white dress.
It will arrive too late for Halloween this year, but an eerie skull-shaped asteroid that some are calling the Death Comet is coming back for another visit.
Do you remember the car, the Comet?
Do I remember what?
A car called the Comet.
No.
They pulled it off because if you got in an accident, you got killed and it burst into flames, and they called that the Death Comet. Look at them now; they're bringing it back.
Well, this Death Comet is an asteroid that looks like a skull.
Right.
It looks like a dead, eye socket.
Has this gone around once before or
Yes.
anything? Okay, I thought we covered this. Right.
It happened last time on Halloween of 2015, and NASA called it the Great Pumpkin Asteroid. That time it flew around. This time it's lost a little bit more and looks exactly like a skull, the Death Comet. Some people said, it's going to hit us. It's the end of days. And they said, no, it's actually going to be several light years away. Let's see, 5.4 million miles from
Oh,
Earth.
that's much further.
Yeah, but how fast is it going? They're going really fast, aren't they? It could hit us. I'm surprised as more stuff doesn't hit us. I was watching some show, went to a crater, an impact crater. And it was just amazingly huge. I went, how does that not happen all the time?
Right,
How are we
yeah.
not getting deluged? How do we not have a giant I don't know, steel umbrella or some crazy? Because I don't work at NASA, so that's my idea. But it seems crazy that we don't get hit more often.
I went to Bambino's over the weekend. Danny, have you been there? Pizza place?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Really, really good pizza place next to the 5 Point. And
Oh yeah. No, I don't think I've ever been there, but I walk past it.
yeah, you guys I think would like it. It's good pizza. But we went in there and they were showing what's the movie with Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck? Armageddon. And a whole bunch of people at the bar were doing all the lines.
Oh, it's a great movie.
If you go next door to the 5 spot, they are also doing lines, but it's totally different.
A teenage boy suffered a shark attack near San Diego and had to be airlifted to a hospital over the weekend. This boy suffered traumatic injuries to his upper torso, and while in critical condition, his family said he is going to be okay. 13 years old, this boy was up early on Saturday morning catching lobsters on a beach in Encinitas, just north of San Diego. It was the first day of lobster season. He was in 9 feet of water, about 200 yards away from the beach. He was attacked. There were some good Samaritans who saw this happen. One of them was able to get into a kayak, go out there and help the boy. They said he was conscious, talking, blood everywhere, taken to the hospital. They closed the beach down. The boy's parents said he is expected to make a full recovery, but big injuries.
It's a lovely story about this kid's recovery, but what up with the lobsters?
What do you mean?
Did he get to keep them? Can I have some? Where are they?
I wonder, you're out there with this amazing booty full of lobsters.
Yeah.
Would you drop it when the shark attacked you?
Well, I'm assuming yes, but I wouldn't. If you have a moment before the shark eats you, think, I'm not dropping these lobsters, bitch. Matter of fact, I put my claws out in front, and you're going to get in a fight with this lobster first.
There's a nice story out of England, Bristol University. The students there love Herman Gordon, who has worked as a custodian for 12 years. Students found out that Gordon had moved to England when he was 12 years old and very rarely gets to see his family in Jamaica. Hasn't been able to afford a trip back in 10 years. So they decided to crowdfund, to do some fundraising, and got enough money to send him and his wife back to Kingston for a week.
Well, it's an okay story.
Yeah?
Well, you work in
Just
10
okay.
years and you don't save enough money. You work at a school. It pays. You can't get the $800 to go see your family? I say something's weird here. But the thing is, You don't care about your family. You care about the woman you met in England. But now that they did this, you have to go home and face those people that you no longer love.
Yeah.
That's what really happened.
You're right.
Oh my
I have Bonaduce-fied that story. Well, that's a new thing, Bonaduce-fied. As I can say it.
A Maine woman's artwork, a woman up in the state of Maine. Her artwork is going viral thanks to her creative uses of a natural resource, moose poop.
Really?
Moose poop.
Really?
Mary Winkenbach has been selling her turdy works, that's what she calls them, at a fair, and now is using social media to sell even more of her turdy works. Maine moose turds. She said everyone goes to the bathroom, everyone can relate, and this is something that is plentiful where I live. It's all local, and she goes out and collects it.
Sustainable? Farm to table, really.
She said you can walk in 50 yards in any direction, and there's more. There's more. And you can see some of her artwork now. I did look at it because I thought maybe it was beautiful, but I did see one that just looked like a pile with googly eyes.
She put googly eyes in it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so she's not even being serious.
Yeah,
Well-
she doesn't like paint with it or sculpt. She just piles it up and puts googly eyes on it.
Well, I guess there must be more because I see one bit is called it's a poo-poo clock.
Yeah.
So it can't just be a pile with googly eyes on it or it wouldn't be a poo-poo clock.
No, she taped a watch to it. It's a poo-poo clock.
This is the grossest one, the poo-poo platter, where she puts Chinese food in it. That's crazy, man. I'm trying to eat.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay!
A Florida woman was so mad.
How mad was she?
Well, she cut a man's face. Why, you ask?
Why ask?
He turned her down.
For what?
You know what?
Oh, she wanted to do the deed?
Yes.
Wow. If I was going to get my face cut every time my wife really wanted to do the deed, I'd be fine.
Well, they're in a relationship, and was in the mood for love. He was not. Said no thanks. She asked again. No thanks. Asked again. Asked again. Asked again. Asked again. She finally got so mad, she cut his face.
Wow.
She was taken into custody. He was taken to the hospital. Had to get several stitches.
In the face.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because chicks forget this part. You just have to sit there and pretend you like it. But we have to defy gravity and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff going on to be a man. If we don't feel like it, and you're insistent, there's a little bit of a panic, to be honest. How do I do this? How do I perform this? Because it's going to hurt her feelings if I say, just don't want to, which, by the way, apparently after about a decade or so, you get the balls to say, no, I don't want to. But for the longest time, and not just my poor wife, but anybody else wants to do anything when I don't feel like it. Like, no, that's not happening for you.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Kid should not be listening.
Yeah, she shouldn't.
She wrote it in cards, mailed it to me. Said, say this.
We are going to be right back with music news. Entertainment. One of the big stories we're going to be talking about. Lindsay Lohan is making news for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, I cannot wait.
What happened this weekend? Pretty nuts. In sports,
Thank you.
what a game for the Seahawks.
We almost never hear that.
Yeah.
Tell you about those big, huge player injuries. Sue Bird back in sports news and all the latest next. In music news, a major figure from the psychedelic rock of the 1960s has died. Marty Balin, who co-founded Jefferson Airplane and played on and off with the band when they were then Jefferson Starship, died over the weekend at the age of 76.
Yeah, not enough.
No, that's young.
No, yeah.
He co-wrote many of the songs. He sang many of the songs, but he, according to the band, was also a very savvy businessman. According to one of his late bandmates, he was the leader of the band on that level. He was the one who pushed us all to do the business stuff. He orchestrated. He was always thinking ahead, looking for managers, club opportunities. He was very good at it.
Good for him. Well, except for the dead part.
Yeah. So this was one of the songs he actually sang on. Probably remember this one.
Super famous, yeah.
And Kanye West over the weekend appeared on Saturday Night Live. He was a last-minute substitute for Ariana Grande, and he was unexpected in that he wasn't scheduled, but then he kind of acted a little erratically. He was wearing a Make America Great hat and then gave a very rambling statement supporting Donald Trump He made a lot of comments that some people were concerned about. They wound up cutting most of it out.
Yeah, it was weird because he played 3 songs, and normally the musical guest plays 2. So the third song was actually after the show was over, and so most stations tuned away from it.
But where was he yelling this stuff? When? Like before his musical number? Or
After the third song.
Oh,
like
is
the whole
after
cast comes
okay.
out after the musical guest plays their 2 songs, then the whole cast comes out, and
He
usually
just started shouting?
the musical guest usually says goodbye,
Right.
and he just kept talking about Trump and weird stuff.
Poor baby, because I think he's actually really crazy.
Yeah.
I think he's right up there with the CIA, put a chip in my head when he starts yelling about this stuff.
He was rambling about how everyone was bullying him because they wouldn't let him wear his Make America Great hat that he was wearing on his head. So obviously people weren't stopping him from doing it. But then he got even crazier because later that night he tweeted out that he thinks the 13th Amendment should be repealed.
Yes.
Which one's 13?
Ending slavery.
That's probably not the
What?
one he wants to
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Did he look it up?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have Google.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, get Google before you
right.
stop repealing slavery.
And another bit of activity from a celebrity that has people with raised eyebrows this morning. Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
She was in Moscow and started to film via Instagram Live. So takes out her cell phone and she films this video, which doesn't end well. Then she removes this from social media, but not before everybody and their grandmother has seen it, screen captured it, or made a copy. And so you can see this video, which is very peculiar. She sees a family. She says, here's a homeless family. They're Syrian refugees. I'm going to help you. You are trafficking children. I'm going to help you. Come with me. And
Oh, my God. Is she wasted?
I don't think so.
It's hard to tell because, and I only saw like a short clip of it, and it was somebody filming their computer playing it. But she has that weird accent that no one can explain why she has. So it's hard to tell if she's drunk or just doing a weird unexplained
accent. 'Cause I saw it on the news. I just couldn't make it out. But I saw the grainy video of her
right.
on the news. And then
It's
the
dark.
news guy say, oh, that Lindsay Lohan had it again. But I couldn't figure out what
she
the hell
got
had
punched
happened.
in the face.
What?
She got punched
She
because
kept chasing these people, trying to take their children, saying to the kids, "Come with me."
Yeah, she's drunk.
telling the parents that she's saving these kids from being trafficked.
it was crazy.
Man or woman punch her in the face?
I think it was the woman. It's
I have a
little
couple
bit hard.
questions about this. Did she fall?
It's hard to tell exactly what's happening because she's filming it. It's nighttime. And then what we are seeing, as Paul said, is somebody filming their computer.
Right.
So it's really not the best quality, but you can hear Lindsay Lohan then turning the camera on herself and she goes, I'm like in shock right now. I'm just like so scared. And then she cries and touches her face. Now, her rep
Did you
says,
see that part too?
Yeah.
How did she take it?
I mean,
Does she hit the dirt?
No, I mean, it's you can't see anything when she's pointing the camera away from her because it's so dark.
Right.
So I don't know who hits her or what happens after she gets hit until she turns the camera around. Then you can see her face. There must be light behind her.
Right. Okay.
yeah, it looks
She doesn't
like
have a black eye. It doesn't look like she got hit hard, but somebody was trying to get her away from their kids.
Yeah.
God, first of all, what's she still doing in Moscow? Didn't she break up with her Russian boyfriend?
crazy.
Isn't she supposed to be in Ibiza opening nightclubs or some such thing?
Greece.
This woman is
Or-
out of her mind.
Dubai.
But
yeah.
these are all places with lots of money, except for Greece. They're busted. But she's doing what she can.
And apparently she was speaking a foreign language, like off and on English and a foreign language, but it appears to be a made up foreign language. Like not anything that anybody could figure out what she was saying. She was just
So you don't think it was Russian and or Spanish or wherever she's been lately? Greece?
no, it was just nonsense.
Gibberish.
Just gibberish.
Crazy as they come. I kind of like her. She can drive my bus.
And sad news over the weekend, we learned that Ted Turner has Lewy body dementia. He gave an interview to CBS Sunday Morning, and at one point when he's talking to Ted Koppel, he forgets the name of the disease he has. He is trying to say dementia, can't remember it, said that he's having real serious problems with memory with this progressive brain disorder, which is the same one that Robin Williams was diagnosed with. And he said, at least it's not Alzheimer's because Alzheimer's is fatal. So thank goodness I don't have that.
Oh, thank goodness.
but has to keep a close eye on one of the symptoms, which is extreme depression.
How old is he?
79.
And he's got $1 billion. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry that anything like that, dementia is apparently really sad. I know when I'm struggling for a word, usually some guy's name that I know well, the fear that comes over is like, why can't I get this guy's name?
Yeah.
But that's a good life. Married to Jane Fonda for a while. That was probably fun to do.
And he's in decent shape. Like when you watch the interview, you can see his eyes are clear. It's not like his body is failing him. It's his brain, which must be just super, super scary. Kathy Griffin is back in America and creating her own comedy special. Over the weekend, she was at the LA Equality Awards and said, this is going to be different than any kind of show that I've done, and that she will be paying for it herself, that she is putting together this whole thing on her own. And we don't have a lot of other information. But
Number one rule in Hollywood, never use your own money.
Yeah.
Literally number one. First thing anybody will tell you.
I just wonder who else would pay for it at this point.
Yeah, because whoever sponsors it is going to get some hits from whatever, the left or the right. I can never keep those two apart.
And local celebrity Chrissy Teigen, we know, loves to cook. She is a model and a mother, has been on several TV shows, married to John Legend. She has her own cookbook line out, and now you can purchase all of her cookware that is being sold at Target. It's called Cravings by Chrissy Teigen Collection, and it's drinkware, cookware, cast iron Dutch sets, and all very affordable because it's being sold at Target.
Right, and I would, if push comes to shove, whose stuff you're going to buy, I'd buy hers. I like her. I'm a fan of hers. I think she's kind of neat. And I think she's a good, a good sponsor for stuff. And do you know that on any given moment, 5 of the top 10 best-selling books are cookbooks at any given time?
Really?
Yeah. Like if you look right now, out of the top 10, there'll be, I would assume, and maybe I should have thought this out before I said it, I'd assume several cookbooks. They're in there all the time.
Showtime has declined to order a third season of the Jim Carrey-produced dramedy I'm Dying Up Here. According to Deadline, it was low viewership to blame.
Bummer, because it was good.
You did watch it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of it, but it starred a lot of funny people, including Melissa Leo. It was about stand-up comedy in the 1970s.
Yeah, it was, and it's a bunch of people doing things that I have done in places that I have done it. So it's and being wasted and drunk and going up on stage and sucking terribly. So all the things I have done. It was about 5 or 6 years later, but the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, all those places, pretty neat for me to watch anyway.
Cool.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. The Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-17 yesterday afternoon. Now, it was a big victory, close game. Janikowski had missed 2 field goals early in the game, but then looped in the one that really mattered to win the game.
Oh, no, heavily leaning towards firing that guy.
Yeah. When he gets up there for the potential game winner, were you guys just like, oh, man, this guy again?
I was thinking, get anybody else. I'll bet Russell can kick a ball.
Right. I thought, why don't we put the punter in and let him punt one through the uprights?
Yeah, and that punter has been showing his skills. I think he hit a drop kick field goal from like 68.
Yeah, because he's a former rugby kicker, right?
Yes.
Is that a thing you can do?
Well,
You can get a field goal by drop kicking it?
I don't know if it's
Nobody
legal.
does,
Is this just
but-
in practice?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I see that every now and again.
Yeah. This was him just on the field playing. This was not in real life. This wasn't in a game because that's not his job. But a lot of people missed field goals yesterday. A lot of people missed extra points. We are just seeing it a lot this season. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because we're not firing people.
But you need to replace them.
Well, that's okay. You know what? It's like being the drummer. Anybody can do it with given a little encouragement.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Well, we won the game, but we also lost some players.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas, broken leg. Will Dissly, patella, a kneecap injury.
Ooh.
So, broken leg, Earl Thomas, he was not happy.
No, you can tell he was not
He
happy.
was not.
No, he had some parting shots.
The single finger salute.
So
To his own sideline.
He flipped off his own sideline.
Yep.
Yeah.
And while going past, was it the Cardinals? He's like right in front of their sideline.
Right, he's on their sideline, yeah.
But he's using the wrong hand to flip them off and look in the wrong direction. He's flipping off the Seahawks.
And it's not clear who it's directed at.
It's directed at the Seahawks. I saw it.
Players, a coach.
Yeah, is it the coach? Is it a player?
Don't
Yes.
Is it ownership?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like it was high up enough to be sending it to ownership or a general manager.
Were you there?
I was not.
Have
no.
you seen it?
Yeah.
Were you there?
I wasn't, but
Have you seen it?
I get what Paul's saying.
Okay, just hang on. Let me
The
go with
gesture
this
would be
just a
up high.
second longer. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you weren't there. I wasn't there, and I have seen it. It was up high enough. Everybody saw it. Everybody.
No, I just mean angle of the hand. Like it didn't look like he's pointing up to where Paul Allen might be sitting.
Because my thought, because I thought the same thing, that could be thought
John
as flipping off the fans.
Right.
You raise it up like that. I thought if you were going to do the wrong thing, he did it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he's doing it. He's one right there in the moment. He's emotional.
Right.
Last time he broke this same leg, he thought for sure he was done playing football.
I certainly,
He was gonna have to
because
retire.
I like him most times, so I'm not thinking like kickers, dump this guy. And this is what he's trying to protect himself from. Did he get the extension?
He didn't. This was the whole reason.
He's got a broken leg.
This was the whole reason he was sitting out. Was because he wanted upfront money in case he gets injured.
I'm not mad at him for flipping anybody off because I would too. On the other hand, you can't do that. There's kids. They got to explain stuff. I thought it was really funny. The news blurred his finger.
Yeah, they
Would
do
I
that.
not know what finger that is because you blurred? I can identify that. It goes right next to the ring finger.
Right.
Seattle will next play host to the Rams Sunday, 1:25.
Girly.
Q13. The Rams, red hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're tooting about, but
The
I agree.
Red Hot Rams.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought my was quite clear. What did you think my meant?
I thought, were you that she was saying they were
No,
red
not at
hot?
all.
or-
They're red hot. There. All right.
right.
We've come together,
All right.
which was neat of us.
Anywho, not every kicker had a bad day yesterday. Adam, the all-time NFL leader in field goals ever, 566.
Wow.
He beat Mort Anderson yesterday, who had held the record forever. But Vinatieri has now done it, 45 years old, in his 13th season with the Colts.
Wow.
Spent his first 10 years with New England, and no end in sight. So when he finishes this season, I think that record will be pretty unattainable for any new kicker coming up.
Yeah, that seems possible.
Yeah.
And I told you before when I used to hang out with a guy named Kevin Butler, kicker for the Chicago Bears. He told me, and I had no idea, he was the highest scoring Bear there was. Is that normal?
Yes.
Like the kicker gets more point than all the players combined? Not combined, but
that
all
wouldn't
the players.
surprise me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Baseball action. The Mariners had a sweep of the Rangers over the weekend to finish their season. And they finished that 2018 season with a record of 89-73. Now, today, something pretty crazy is happening in the world of baseball. The season ended yesterday, or did it?
Or did it?
Or did it?
I think it did.
Didn't, because
It didn't?
there was a tie.
Oh.
Today, we will see 2 tiebreaker games.
Oh, Rochambeau, right? Rock, paper, scissors.
Very nicely done.
Now, the Dodgers beat the Giants. The Rockies defeated the Nationals. Those 2 teams now have to play in a tiebreaker game at Dodger Stadium. The winner is the National League West champion, and the other has to play in the wild card game. So the Dodgers-Rockies also playing a tiebreaker, and this just never happens.
Yeah.
Somebody wins and somebody loses. This was a 4-way tie with 2 tiebreaker games. So the first one starts at 10:05 this morning. The second one, 1:09 this morning. Both games on ESPN.
The Mariners will not be playing in any of those. Is that correct?
Correct.
No.
Oh, you have to move along with their lives, Paul.
Playoffs start tomorrow.
Playoffs.
And that is the first wild card game. The second wild card game is on Wednesday, and then the actual playoffs get started at the end of the week. And the Los Angeles Angels manager, Mike Scioscia, announced yesterday he will not be returning in 2019, ending his 19-year tenure with the team.
Wow, I'm so sure. It was a little bit of work, but I got it.
It's not his name, though. But you said it the way she said it. But
How do you say it?
Scotia, right?
Oh, yeah. I think
Oh,
you are
she was only
correct.
off by a Scotia.
Yeah, that's correct.
There you go. Just give it to the genius.
Here you go, Paul.
When does he get here?
Saturday, UW defeated BYU 35-7. WSU defeated the Utes 28-24. They are back in action this Saturday. UW versus UCLA at 4:30. The Cougs versus Oregon State at 6. We had a Sounders match over the weekend, and the Sounders beat the Colorado Rapids 4-0.
Look at them go.
Up next, 1 week from today, they'll play the Houston Dynamo at 7:30. And basketball. The United States continued its run of dominance on one of the biggest stages for women's basketball. Brittany Griner scored 15 points to help the United States beat Australia 73-56 and win the Women's Basketball World Cup last night.
Oh, that's nice. Can any other countries play basketball?
Yeah,
Well,
Australia.
mostly because they have Americans on them usually.
No, I think
This is
in
you
this
play
case,
for
it's
your country.
People they play for their own country.
Yeah, okay. But if you look at our superstar games, often guys all that you knew and love you and they're on your teams, actually turns out they come from Croatia.
Oh, right. They
and stuff
play in
like
the
that.
NBA.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
So in the WNBA, these are women. The women that play typically in the WNBA are Americans, but when they play in the World Cup, they are playing like the Olympics. You are representing your country.
Sure.
So Sue Bird, she got her 4th World Cup gold medal, 5th medal overall in the tournament. Brianna Stewart scored 10 points in the final and was named the MVP of the tournament.
Nice.
So Sue Bird was saying after winning for the Seattle Storm, they're like, what are you going to do? Are you going to celebrate? She's like, I leave for the World Cup tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at
She
her
is
go.
Not taking a break. Very impressive athlete. Sports This Morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Let's talk about 1-800-DUI-AWAY. If you get caught, if you get busted, you got a DUI, you need to call right now. Here's the number, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. They'll fight hard for you. They'll meet you in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma, and they won't charge you any money for that. So if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
And coming up, Money for Nothing. That's right. It's back on KZOK 13 times a day. You've got a shot to win $1,000. Listen for the new keyword. You text it to 200-200. You could be our winner. The next chance at Money for Nothing, 7:10 this morning.
All righty, let me tell you about the game coming up at 7:20. Is it kaput? 9. Now I'm out. There you go. 7:20, we're playing a game called German for What? And you can win a pair of tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest Friday through Sunday, and that's happening at the Washington State Fairgrounds. So be there for that.
Well, today is a big day in baseball because the season's supposed to be over. It's supposed to be a break for all those teams headed to the postseason. But there is a 4-way tie, and 4 teams are playing 2 games today. And once that's set up, then actual baseball postseason starts tomorrow. Baseball playoffs.
Playoffs.
One of these teams is going to win the World Series. It's exciting. So over the weekend, a lot of people watching baseball to find out who was going to make it in. And one of the baseball announcers was calling the play. Like, Danny, you've heard the expression chin music.
Sure.
And this guy's calling the pitches and says, oh, that one was right down the pike.
Right.
Yeah, 93-mile-an-hour fastball right down the pike.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was thinking that. What does that
Really?
actually mean?
What's the pike?
The turnpike. Straight down the lane. Fast and straight.
Oh, they're throwing the ball out on the highway.
Yes.
It's
that what
not a
it means?
That's what
highway.
they're
It's a
doing.
turnpike.
So it's fast and it's straight.
I don't
And
even
that's-
really even know what a turnpike is, to be honest.
It's just another highway, another name for a highway, tollway,
It's
turnpike.
a toll road.
Is that
So
it?
that's the difference. So a freeway doesn't cost any money, but a turnpike is a toll road. But most people, you don't even know what that means. Like, what does chin music mean?
Too close to your face,
Why
right?
is it called chin music?
Yeah, why is it music? What's the music part of it?
Well, I don't know, you guys. I'm the least baseball fan in the room. So goodbye, Mr. Spalding. I'm staying
Chin
with that
music
one.
is, I
back 'em up.
believe, it's something about playing a violin and the music's really close to your chin. Then
All right.
and the pitch is right close to your
So
face.
if I'm going to follow Paul's world, I'm now going to say, well, how do you hit a ball if you're playing violin?
I know. How are you going to hold the bat? if
Yeah,
you
it's
hold
crazy.
the violin?
It's weird.
But it's these expressions that you hear and they don't necessarily mean any sense. Like, Paul didn't know what a turnpike was, but he knew the expression right down the pike
Right,
was a
yeah.
baseball term that meant a good pitch.
Well, do you know this term is saying then? Oops, I pulled a boner.
I mean, I kind of know what it
Do you know
means.
that?
I don't know why you say that.
Yeah, because the one you think it is came way afterwards, and I don't know how. Because like in third grade, we were saying the other one to mean the other thing, but to pull a boner is a comical mistake.
Right, you goofed up, you messed up.
They somehow they took that. I don't know how that happened, but I always wondered about that. How did they start with that? How did it get to who was famous for pulling a boner? Dick Van Dyke, and he said it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I worked with a guy who a couple times was explaining a situation, and I said, "What are you going to do?" And he goes, "Well, that's the rub." Like, what does that mean? And he said it all the time. And finally, I had to ask him, "What is that's the rub?" Mean?
And what'd he say?
What'd he tell
What's it
you?
mean?
I don't even remember. Like that's the
that's what makes it difficult.
right. You're
is
caught
the
in between
rub.
a rock and a hard place,
Yeah.
and it's two things rubbing against each other.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's exactly right. I think it's anything that makes something more difficult than it should be. And you go, well, that is more difficult. And I say, well, that's the rub. That's the things that makes it more difficult.
Not to go back to the boner thing, but I'm fascinated by it.
All right.
Was there a guy named Boner who was always pulling a boner, and that's why you pull a boner?
No idea.
now?
The only guy I know named Boner used to date an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever TV show they had a character named Boner on.
Growing Pains.
Yeah, she dated that guy, Tramp.
Really?
Both of them tramps. No talent tramps.
I had to look up what does that's the rub mean, and it's from Hamlet.
Of course.
It's from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Who knew? But there are a lot of these common words or expressions that we say we're not even entirely sure what the meaning is, but we say them anyway. You guys have one? What is it? A common word or expression that doesn't make any sense to you?
He winds up, and it's a pitch, and it's right down the pike. What pike? Where the hell are you standing? What expression or saying does not make any sense to you? Call us at 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
I thought it was a fish. Why is he throwing the ball at a fish?
Because they played here in Seattle. They're always throwing fish.
Mike and Sultan, good morning.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Stinky Sexy Bonaduce.
What
First
up?
of all, I always thought that was right down the pipe instead of right down the pike, but I may have
That'd
misheard
make
it.
way more sense. Right
No,
down the
it's-
pipe.
It's both. It was originally pike, and then it started to become pipe, and it still is meaning the same exact thing. And I think somebody misheard it, and it became more of common vernacular, but it's both of them.
Huh.
Why are you looking at me like
'Cause
that?
I don't believe you at all.
I looked it up because I was
What's it say?
curious. It started as right down the pike, and now both of them are interchangeable. Right down the pipe or right down the pike with a K. Both
And Mike
of them are
thought-
acceptable baseball terms.
Mike, you thought right down the pipe was what they were saying?
I thought it was pipe all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never heard it called pike. So I mean, I know what a turnpike is and everything, but I always just thought it was right
I
down
know
the
we
pipe.
all know what a pipe is. And it would make, I guess, sense.
Yeah.
You know, right down the pipe.
Great aim to get down
yeah,
the pipe
down
for
the pipe.
sure.
No, it depends on how big the pipe is. That's crazy.
What's a common word or expression that doesn't make any sense to you? Let's hear from Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Good morning, gang.
Morning.
Well, my grandma used to say this all the time, and something that she didn't like. She said, "Oh, that gives me the willies." And to this day, I don't know what willies are.
You know, I got to tell you, when we were talking about this just now and everything, I thought, well, I'm going to know all these. I would never say an expression that I don't know what it means. I just wouldn't do it. And then the phone calls come in. I don't know what half of these mean. I don't know. I mean, I know what
don't know
your
what that
grandma
means.
was saying,
Yes.
but I don't know where it came from
I've
or
said
why it
it.
means what it means.
I have no idea. I have said that gives me the willies.
Yeah, me
Who's
too.
Willie? I have no idea.
And I know it's not just a scared feeling. It's an actual, like a tingly
Yeah.
feel. You know, we all know what it means, but I have no idea where Willie. Some poor guy named Willie was terrified most of the time, is my guess.
Good morning to Blair and Lake Stevens.
Hey, Blair.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I've got one, and actually I've got a few, but I'm just gonna go with one because I've got more than you could probably shake a stick at.
That's
Ah.
one.
But this one might bust your chops. But we'll see.
Listen to Blair
Listen
go.
to Blair. He's out of control.
Anyways, basket case. I still don't get it, and I want to know.
I can only give you guesses on this. I'm going to go one, helpless baby dropped off at the orphanage in a basket, or couldn't be more helpless. Guy with no arms and legs, living in a basket. Whatever it is, it's a helpless person
Why is he in a basket?
because he has no arms and legs.
Oh, okay. Makes perfect sense
Yeah.
then.
Or-
Where else would you put him besides
the
in a
whole
basket?
thing gives me the willies, but that's what I'm going with that one.
That's another one that we've all said. Oh,
Wow,
don't do
what
that.
a
I'm going to be a
basket
basket
Yeah,
case.
and I'd have gone for more kind of crazy. That person's a basket case that
Right,
was
yeah.
screwed up in the head somehow. Like Blair and his 9 answers.
Good morning, Potato Chip in Seattle.
What up?
Good morning. There's a term that you hear in the gambling world, and it's Katie bar the door.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Sure, Katie barred the door.
Bar the door?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's in a musical. Is it Guys and Dolls? I don't remember where Katie barred the doors comes from, but it comes from somewhere. And then I would have to guess. It literally means nobody comes and goes
Yeah.
or goes.
Yeah. And you literally put a bar across
Yeah,
the
and you
door.
put a
so
bar
you can't
across the
open it.
door.
But I don't know why Katie's doing it.
I don't know, because Katie bars the door. He's right. Katie absolutely bars the door.
Yeah.
James in Bothell, what's a common word or expression that doesn't make any sense to you?
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Yeah, well, Danny, we're the same age, and this goes back to my grandfather. Was they do this or they did that by the skin of their teeth?
Yeah. I got guesses, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got no skin on my teeth.
yeah, yes, you do. You most certainly do. We all do. We all have skin on our teeth. When you wake up in the
Well,
morning,
just checked
and
again.
you
I
got
didn't come
that
out.
crappy feeling.
Yeah.
Well, you think you have like no essentially hair on your fingertips, but that's your fingernails are basically hair. So it
Really?
depends on how you go with this. But skin of your teeth is exactly if you tried to measure it when you wake up and you got that nasty little
The
taste
film,
in your
yeah.
mouth. That's the skin of your teeth. Try and measure it. That's how close you came. The skin of your teeth.
Wow.
Well, that's gross.
This is a fun game.
Good morning, Abe Simpson.
Wayne, what the hell is up?
Hey, good morning, Sunshine.
Morning.
Wait, what is a comic's favorite punctuation?
I don't know what.
A period that marks the end of a sentence. Anyway, I'm going to go with it's a
Wow.
monkey's uncle.
A monkey's uncle.
Well, I'll be a monkey's
Yeah.
I
uncle.
got no idea.
be a
No,
monkey's
we all
uncle.
know what it means.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm flabby. I don't know. What's 2 + 2? I don't know. I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Where does that come from?
I don't know where it's coming from.
I like that one. Hey, Rob in Eatonville, how are you, buddy?
Doing good.
What's up, man?
How about the EBGBs?
Yeah, again,
The EBGBs, like the Willies kind of thing?
like the willies, a little bit different from the heebie-jeebies. I think the willies are more of a feeling, and the heebie-jeebies, you actually have something to be scared about. That place gives me the heebie-jeebies. That guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's what I think.
And we're still not exactly sure what it.
Where it comes from,
the,
I have no
origins.
idea on a bunch of these, which I didn't think would be the case. This is fun.
Listen, what is a common word or expression that does not make sense to you?
The use of the word of when telling time, like 20 of 9, that doesn't tell me whether it's before or after.
He's kind of right.
Is he?
I thought of was before.
Before, but we all
Yeah.
think of as before because we're not lunatics. But I don't know that it's a designation.
Quarter
Yeah.
to 4.
I don't know why you say it
quarter
before
of
instead of
4.
before or after.
Right, it's 10. Wait, how'd you say it? 4:15.
Yeah, I just realized I don't say it. I say it's 3:45.
I think I say both.
Right.
But I have no idea where that came from. 'Cause grammatically, he's right. That's incorrect.
That is super strange.
And I like some of them are dead giveaways. Like, oh, I own that lock, stock, and barrel. It's a flintlock rifle, and that's all that makes it so, are those 3 parts.
Mm-hmm. B in Port Orchard, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
So it's not me, it's my son. And the common saying is that's using your noggin or your noodle. But for years, he gets it mixed up and says that's using your knocker.
Well, I've had occasion to say that as well. Like, I didn't really like you that much during the first part of this date, but now that you're using your knocker, I think it's awesome.
But why is your brain in your head called the noodle?
I don't know. Have no idea.
Huh.
Maybe a shape. I'm just guessing.
Owen and Everett texted into 90627, wants to know why we call it the bee's knees. Bees don't have knees, do they?
No, they do not.
I don't think so. Not my monkey, not my circus. Why do we say that?
That's made up. That's not that it's made up so he's lying. It's
Aren't
an
they all made
expression.
up?
Yeah, in a way, but there are things like, don't let the gorilla out of the cage that they say in business meetings now. It's all over. It was invented like a year and a half ago on Wall Street. So
Yeah.
like some people just need a new saying.
Several people texting in saying all of these are Shakespearean. So apparently we got to brush up on our Shakespeare if we want to understand them.
Thou art mistaken.
Well, we
But
did
a bunch are. No, a bunch are.
We did find out that's the rub.
There's
is
something
from
rotten in Denmark
Shakespeare.
is right out of not Macbeth. What was the one you were just talking about?
Othello?
No,
it was
But anyway,
Macbeth.
it's right
That is
out of
Macbeth,
there.
yeah.
That is Macbeth. Good morning, Melissa in Bremerton.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How are you?
Don't take any wooden nickels.
All right.
I won't.
That's
What
kind of
But that's
self-evident.
because they were. People did try to pass off nickels that were wood.
That's exactly totally true.
But why would you say that now? Because you'd be pretty dumb to accept a wooden nickel.
Well,
that's
I
why
think
you
that's
should
what
do
they're
it.
telling you. I think they're telling you don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot, yeah.
Derek, what's a common word or expression that doesn't make sense to you?
You just got to shimmy it in there. I don't know what a shimmy is.
There's a thing. You can go and buy it at Home Depot.
Oh, I thought it was this.
Really?
I'm doing a dance move.
I thought, yeah, like a thin piece of metal. Yeah, there you go.
That's what it is.
Or
Or
that's a
wood.
shim.
A shim,
anyway.
yeah.
I had no idea. That one's news to me.
How about that one? It's news to me.
Yeah.
Yo, in Olympia, a common word or expression that doesn't make sense to you?
Well, whenever I call you guys, I'm naked as a jaybird.
Yes, you are.
However, aren't all birds kind of naked? I've never seen a bird with clothes.
No, man.
Jaybird has feathers. They all have feathers.
They all
Yeah,
have
none of them
feathers,
are
young
naked.
lunatic.
Jaybirds don't have feathers?
Dr. Evil's
They all
cat
do.
is as naked as a jaybird, but I don't know about the rest of it.
Paul, a common word or expression that doesn't make sense to you?
If something isn't good enough, we say it doesn't cut the mustard.
Yeah.
And I assume it's oldie-timey, but when were we cutting our mustard?
On almost every sandwich.
You cut your mustard?
Yeah. Much
then-
like you cut drugs. Same thing. The mustard is very strong. I'm going to cut it with mayo or whatever it is. I'm going to add another condiment to it
Oh.
and cut down the sharp taste of that mustard.
But that's sacrilege. A sandwich should not have mustard and mayonnaise.
Well, if it does, it won't cut the mustard.
No, it totally would not cut the mustard. That's absolutely. I like. Does anybody know this expression? Oh, ooh, that's as fast as grease through a goose.
No.
Never heard
You guys
that
don't know
one.
that expression? Fast as grease through a goose. And you're a farmer.
Never
All
heard that one.
farmers know the grease through a goose thing.
Tori, what's a common word or expression that doesn't make sense to you?
Taken aback. What's
Taken
aback?
Aback.
How do you explain it? Because I mean, it's just somebody who wants to say it that
Well,
way.
she knows what it means, but what
Right.
does it
Where
literally,
does it
why
come
is the
from?
word
Yeah.
aback?
Yeah, why aren't you just taken back?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Isn't there an affront?
A front and a back?
Yeah.
So if I turn.
No, I'm taken aback, and that person, it was an affront to my dignity.
And it
It's
took
an
me
actual
aback.
word.
Have a
It took
front
me
and a
aback.
back. I don't know.
I think I'm right.
What I do know is it's now time to play German for what?
German for what?
You can win a pair of tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest Friday through Sunday at the Washington State Fair Event Center. In order to play and win your way in, call right now 800-252-1025. Playing a brand new game this week. Greatest thing about Mondays is we get a new game. This time,
Or the worst things about Monday.
Yeah.
Mondays, we get a brand new game.
Sorry.
the game this week is German for what?
German for what?
You can win a pair of tickets to the 14th annual Oktoberfest Northwest happening Friday through Sunday at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. To win, you will just have to tell us the English translation of the German word from Danny's clue. As easy as that.
Yeah, as easy as that.
So if you speak German, you're pretty good to go. On this.
Farfignugan.
There you go.
Kevin in Tacoma is our contestant.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, this is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
Kevin, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do now.
All right. Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes, I do.
Let's get to it then, sir. The German word bitter sounds an awful lot like the English word bitter, which is an adjective some might use to describe the German people. Although they may sometimes seem harsh or unfriendly, German society is actually quite polite. So polite that they always say bitte in response to someone saying thank you. So please tell us, bitte is German for what?
Please.
I am sorry, Kevin.
No.
Sorry,
That is
Actually not.
to be
incorrect.
honest, when I read it, I thought it was please.
Well, Virginia in Lake Bay, would you like Danny to read the clue again, or do you know the answer?
Come on, Virginia.
It means you're welcome.
It
That's
does,
correct,
in fact,
yes.
mean
That
you're
is
welcome.
correct, Virginia. Congratulations, you won a pair of general admission tickets for Oktoberfest Northwest presented by Evergreen Eye Center. Join over 25,000 people at the 3-day festival featuring German beer and steins, beer Olympics, Hammerschlagen, and more. Tickets and details are available at oktoberfestnw.com. So Virginia's going to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to get her tickets. The rest of you, another chance to win tomorrow at 7:20. And don't go anywhere because the big news of the day is next.
And the big news of the day is brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or you can go online to goldbergjones.com. And by the way, Rick Jones will be joining us in studio Wednesday, so be here for that.
Tesla and its CEO Elon Musk have agreed to pay a total of $40 million and make a series of concessions to settle a government lawsuit that alleged Elon Musk duped investors with misleading statements about a proposed buyout of the company.
Is that what you think happened?
I do find, if I was an investor, his statements to be very misleading, yes.
Because I want to go with, and that's what I think the world thinks. I think people think what you think. I think it's some guy blabbering that doesn't realize that, Trump does it all the friggin' time.
Yeah,
So Elon Musk can't ignite nuclear war.
I thought he was being an idiot and making what he thought was a joke.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Stupid.
A joke that now costs him. When I went to bed last night, it was $20 million. Now it's $40 million. Does the joke stop soon?
It's 20 each.
It's 20 for him, 20 for the company.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the total for the two is 40, but Elon Musk himself has to pay $20 million. He also, as I said, there has to be concessions. He is stepping down as chairman. So this, according to the SEC, was a violation that he did not have any of the funding for the buyout that he was alleging. And the other concession is Tesla must hire an independent chairman to oversee the company. So they can't just promote somebody. It has to be somebody independent.
Wow. I think he may have gotten robbed right there. I think he was just futzing around in the middle of the night, his own home, saying, I'll take this company, probably drinking. I'll take this company private. I got $9 in my pocket. I'll go back to South Africa with my ball. Same thing.
It might actually be good for the company because he stays on, so you still have, that great mind,
cachet.
the vision, but you have grown-ups in charge running the company.
That's true.
Hey, grown-ups won't make you a flamethrower, man.
No.
Don't promote the grown-ups too fast.
But that's the thing is he'll still be there to make the flamethrower, and they'll be there to make sure they make money off the flamethrower.
Watch. You or Elon Musk tell me, the new CEO, you're making flamethrowers.
Hey, I'm making flamethrowers.
Elon, I've been meaning to talk to you. You're stupid in South Africa, and you can't make flamethrowers. Goodbye. That's what's going to happen. All the fun's going to go out of Tesla.
I hope not. Hopefully the new chairman and the new members of the board will say, all right, we can make flamethrowers or whatever else crazy you want to make. Here's how we can make money.
$5 says it's a chairwoman.
Yeah, could be. Sure.
It's my bet.
The U.S. military has suffered the first crash in its hugely expensive F-35 fighter jet program. An F-35B jet went down in South Carolina, according to the Marine Corps.
Who hasn't?
The pilot managed to eject. There were no injuries, and the investigation is ongoing. Now, these are very, very expensive. The F-35 is the largest and most expensive weapons program of its type in the world. This is something that's been criticized for its cost and combat effectiveness. The jet involved is believed to have cost around $100 million.
Jeez. Aren't there
Actually, I think it's way more. It's got to be jets cost it.
Yeah, but aren't there most of the countries that we would have to fight, aren't they worth about $100 million?
It depends. Yes, there are some countries in the middle of nowhere that we,
right.
A lot of places that end in Stan. We should be able to beat them up with bats.
Yeah, so
we should send in our Green Berets and some bats.
We spend their entire GDP on one jet.
I just would have bet $1 billion on this jet.
Yeah,
if not more.
Well, on Friday, the Pentagon said, well, we have a new contract, and it'll bring the price down to $89.2 million per aircraft moving forward.
Oh, what a steal.
Yeah.
And a video was posted to Facebook that showed someone getting a tattoo in a living room, which has led to online outrage and an investigation by police. Now, you can't just give tattoos in a living room. You do need to be licensed to give tattoos. But the problem is that the tattooee, the person getting tattooed.
I got to guess. Go ahead.
You want to guess?
Baby.
Close.
Dog.
10 years old.
All right, I'll take my first guess. I'm wrong with it. He's way too young to get a tattoo.
10 years
What's it say?
Old.
Baby, I was born to run?
Now, police became aware of this video, and then they said that this was a tattoo that appeared to have been given about 5 days ago. And the child, according to police, had asked for the tattoo. The person applying said tattoo was 16 years old. People on social media have freaked out about this.
As well they should.
Yeah, really.
A lot of people can go through life and love their tattoos. I am not one of them. And if I was crating around mistakes I made from when I was 10. My mistakes on my back start around when I'm 30, on my back and butt and arms.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing to get a tattoo. And a kid, 10-year-olds are almost never right about anything.
Yeah.
Maybe bedtime. Maybe they have an idea what time they're supposed to get bed, but not what's a good tattoo. What's the tattoo?
They didn't say what the tattoo was, but imagine 10 years old. Say it's a smiley face on the forearm.
Right.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny or something.
Yeah, what's that going to look like when the kid starts and finishes growing?
Bugs Bunny's grandfather. Elmer Fudd.
A very stretched out Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years old, whatever surface is not done.
Well, first it's going to
growing.
get tighter, right? Because he's going to be growing. And then, starting around 40 or so, a tattoo that's been pulled and stretched and malleable, that's not going to be nice for anybody.
Well, the cops said they are still inundated with phone calls, and a lot of people very concerned about the well-being of this 10-year-old. And the cops said they're not exactly sure who to charge or exactly which crimes to charge them
They
with.
should call me because I know. Immediately. Call the tattoo artist and the parents. Boom. There, I'm done. That was
Charge
easy.
them with what?
Charge the 16-year-old.
Reckless endangerment of a child, for
Perfect.
sure.
I like it. 10
Thank
years.
What do you charge
10.
the parents with?
Same, whatever I give the tattoo
Negligence.
artist, negligence of a child, whatever. And probation, but probation where everybody looks at you and you get shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No jail time.
No
Jail time for the 16-year-old?
jail time for the 10-year-old. I don't care. These guys suck.
He's already got his prison tax.
Yeah, exactly. Although Bugs Bunny will not get you that far in the mess hall.
A set of small binoculars believed to have been used by President Abraham Lincoln on the night he was assassinated
jeez.
are now the latest prized possession of a New Orleans antiques gallery.
With binoculars, you'd think you'd have seen it coming. Too soon?
Yep. Now, did they actually check into the authenticity?
I'm gonna think, yeah, they
those
checked.
guys who bought the hat were like, oh, turns out this is not the hat.
Did that ever flash out that it definitely is not the hat, or is it still maybe the hat?
They're still not entirely
I know what you're talking
sure.
about. Somebody bought a museum, I think, bought Abraham Lincoln's hat, and there's now a big question: is it in fact the hat?
Yeah.
So Paul's got a good question. Are these really the binoculars?
These are a captain with the Washington City Guard had found them, and this was in 1865. And
April 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
They have been in the same family ever since.
Wow.
Now they did sell it for just shy of $800,000.
I'd have guessed 3 times that.
Yeah,
You
seriously. By the way, Derek, great call on Lincoln Park during this story. It's pretty fantastic.
No, I didn't even think about it.
I wouldn't have even got it because of the spelling being different, but yeah, Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Lincoln. Good job, Derek.
Popular.
What did we do to that guy?
I don't know, man.
It's the weirdest thing.
I remember earlier you asked him about his weekend, and that apparently
It just
upset
set
him.
him right over the edge? Yeah.
Are we even sure that Derek's here?
I don't know. Derek, are you there, man?
I'm just researching Abraham Lincoln right now.
Oh, he
is
was,
that
I
what you're
believe, the
doing?
16th president, but I can't swear to it. Some guy shot him.
You were previously unaware of him?
They shot him in Ford's Theater, and he was watching Our American Cousin was the name of the play. Anything else you
Spoiler
need, I'll help
alert,
you
he's
out.
trying to learn something, Danny.
Well, if you just listen to the douche, man, you'd be smarter than he is.
It's debatable.
KFC has a
I don't
new-
know who you just slammed, Mr. Me or him, but I still like it.
KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Yeah.
are joining the world of gaming with the very clever title KFC Gaming.
They stayed up all night with that, I think.
They released a statement, said Player One has entered the game. KFC Gaming, a match made in heaven. Just a taste of what's to come. Get it?
You'll need a wingman. Let's see. I don't know what else.
Your chicken wingman
Oh,
for
wow, look at me go.
all those victory royales. It's going to be finger licking good.
Well, that wouldn't make that much sense in the military.
Our competition doesn't have a leg to stand on?
Nice. I'll keep you abreast of the situation.
Well done.
No, medium rare, thank you.
Really? On
that's
chicken?
not chicken.
That's not good.
Ew.
That's not only bad, that's chicken
No,
bad.
Amy cares about that too. Like if I cook chicken, it's all pink on the inside.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Well, when it comes to KFC and gaming, that's all we know right now. It was just a teaser that they revealed on Friday via Twitter, so I don't know exactly what sort of gaming it is. I don't think anyone, we could just speculate, but why not?
I still want one of those virtual reality things. I'm not sure what they do, but I know I'm going to just hold my hands like this the rest of the show, imitating the virtual reality. But I want one. Are they games or are they just weird? Ooh,
They're
I almost
games.
did it. They're games?
Yeah, most mostly they're games,
And
but
do you
now
need
they're
any
doing.
kind of setup for it, or can I just buy them, put them on, turn them on?
They do. They have standalone units where you can just buy the glasses, and they have their own games built in. Or they have ones that work with other gaming systems.
I don't want those.
The airlines are starting to work on these to do movies. So instead of having screens in the seat, you'll watch a movie.
Yeah, they totally shouldn't play like plane crash movies in
Probably
virtual
not.
reality while that's happening. That's bad.
Derek, have you played games? You're the only one I think who really plays games on this show. Are you using those VR glasses at all?
Yeah, I have the PlayStation VR.
Is it cool? Is it as fun
Oh,
as
it's
it
super
looks?
cool, man. Yeah, it's
All right, I'm
super
going to-
immersive.
Where do I get one? Do I get one, Fred Meyer?
Derek's house.
I'm going to get one before Amy comes home to say no.
Good idea.
See?
I think they're super expensive.
That's why I want to do it while she's out of town. How much?
Good thinking.
Around $300 to $400.
Oh, no, I can't pull that off. I'd be in so much
She'll
trouble.
notice.
Man,
No, she'll notice right away, but I can defend others of your fault for leaving town.
Okay, what are we paying Derek that he's got him and you don't?
You really have a really good call. Well, I would say word for word, he's being paid perfectly commensurate.
Wow, this turned into the Pick on Derek show. I like you, Derek.
She likes you, Derek.
It's all good.
I think you're adorable. I just think you should see a doctor.
Wow.
His balance has got to be off. He needs lithium worse than I do. Hey, it's my favorite show. I love this job, you guys.
Some of that was the big news of the day, which was brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com. And Rick Jones will be joining us in studio Wednesday to talk about all things divorce.
That is a fact, Jack. He'll be here on Wednesday, so be here for that. But stay tuned, because business news with Jim the Flagger coming right up. There are very few things that I would like more than, say, being 6 inches taller. But one of them would be money for nothing right here on KZOK. And we've got it. Money for nothing. You have 13 chances to win $1,000 and thousands of dollars every single day. Just listen for the new keyword and then text it to 200. Your next chance to win is just minutes away.
Well, if you missed it earlier, we were talking about Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Out as chairman of Tesla. Now, he will remain CEO, but because of his what is being called an SEC violation, one of the conditions to the plea deal was $20,000 from him, $20,000 from Tesla, and he cannot.
And somebody else pays them millions and millions.
20 million, yeah.
What did I say? $20,000? Yeah, 20 million. $20,000. He was
But
like,
you
I
know
got that in my
what?
pocket.
How do you get a guy for tweeting irresponsibly when Donald Trump is the president of the United States?
Yeah.
He said, I'll take this whole company private. The other one said, I will nuke North Korea. Seems like a bigger troubling problem to me.
Yeah.
And I like Elon Musk.
And I'm sure there are some people, in fact, I know there are some people that would like the president removed for some of the things he said. In this case, the SEC found it a lot easier to do to remove Elon Musk as chairman of Tesla. Now, you guys were saying the concern was with Elon Musk not being the head of Tesla is he still going to come out with the fun stuff like a flamethrower?
Right. Yeah.
One of the fun things about Elon Musk being able to be the head of Tesla is the dude gets to do what he wants.
Right.
And make
He
things
sent
like a
a
flamethrower.
car to space with a fake astronaut.
That's
in it.
right.
Come
I
on.
almost forgot about
yeah,
that.
how badass is that? And it was outside, like they opened a hatch and it was outside in space. And my first thought was to say, breathe. Oh, yeah, you're a car. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you do get to do some fun things if you are the head of certain companies.
Yeah.
You know, looking back in history, I'm sure there were times where you didn't want to be the guy running Coke. You didn't want to be the lady running Exxon.
Do you mean the Colombian guy running Coke? Because I hear he did okay right up in
he
jail.
did all right.
No, I mean like when they decided to put out new Coke or clear Coke or one of those, like you didn't want to be running that company then.
No, you most certainly didn't. When your foible is synonymous with gigantic mistake. If somebody says something to me and I don't love it or he's going to do something, I'm just going to really, why don't you invent the new Coke? And everybody knows you mean bad call.
Yeah. Well, Danny, what do you think? A company that would be best or worst to run?
Oh, I'm going to go with best, and that would be Sandals Resorts.
Ooh.
All you can eat, all you can drink, sushi, fresh food, fruit, vegetables, chicks in their underwear. Although Sandals is a complete couples-only resort, so usually people there on their honeymoon. So,
Right.
But I'm a married guy, so I'm just going to go for the free drinks and to ogle and appreciate the chicks in their underwear running around. And by underwear, I mean bathing suits.
So it seems like it'd be a pretty easy company to run,
Yeah,
too.
man. You just say, yeah, man,
Yeah,
first
man.
thing in the morning, and everything's
would,
fine.
You would definitely have to go everywhere for quality control.
Yeah, every single one of
visit,
them.
visit each of the different
Yeah.
resorts.
Go to St. Lucia alone. They have, I believe, 4 Sandals resorts now,
Nice.
all over the island.
Yeah, I've only been to the one on Jamaica, and I think
It's a
there
great
were
one.
3 or 4 there.
It's a great one, the 100. They're all great. It's a great
call.
business. If you're going to go on vacation, you want to go take the husband and or wife and go and have a great time. Sandals is cool, especially when I'm running the joint. You'll get all you can drink free. Whoops, too late.
You guys listening, what's something that you think, a company that would be best or worst to run? What company do you think? Call us right now, 800.
All right, here we go, man. Elon Musk, who a lot of us really like, is out as chairman of Tesla, but he'll remain CEO, which is cool. What company would be the best and or worst to run? Here's our phone number. It's 1-800-252-1025, or you can text to 90627.
Let's talk to Farmer Ted in Seattle.
Farmer Ted, what's up?
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're all good. What do you got?
Hey, I'm a high school football coach in Seattle, and I would love to run the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I can see
That would
that.
be fun.
That's a very nice one, running the Seattle Seahawks.
It's, of course, more difficult if your team is on a down year, which, the Seahawks, like every single team, sees ups and downs. They call for your head if you're on a down season.
But, I've been in jobs where they call for your head if the ratings are bad. And next thing I know, I'm the X guy on the Partridge Family. I'm the X guy on this TV show. Everybody's always asking for your head. You got to rise up again, I say. I got one that you might be surprised. Terrible to run. Ready? Victoria's Secret.
Why?
Because and not making light of anything Me Too or anything, I'm taking that dead serious. Imagine you're now the man in charge of chicks, the best looking girls in the world, running around in their underwear, some of them with wings strapped to their back. How are you not going to say, nice set of wings? And the next thing you're writing apology letters and you're disgraced in front of the public and your wife.
Very true.
So I'm not doing Victoria's Secret.
800-252-1025. What company would be the best or worst to run? Danny says best would be Sandals because he'll have to go to all the resorts for quality control.
And Relapse, don't forget that.
The worst would be Victoria's Secret. Now, this might sound weird because I'm a vegetarian, but I think the company that would be the best to run would be In-N-Out Burger because then I would bring it to Washington and be a hero.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But then I'd also have to make them carry a veggie burger so I could eat there.
Yeah, well, I think they'd rebel. I think there'd be a mutiny. Oh, yeah, you do run the company.
Paul, what do you think? A company that would be the best or worst to run?
The worst would be Walmart, and now they have a ton of money. So, you're getting paid pretty well, but they don't exactly have the best reputation when it comes to how they treat their employees. And they're in Bentonville, Arkansas. So I'd have to relocate to Arkansas. I don't think I'm doing it.
Well, I don't know why. You're the head guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Relocate them.
That's the headquarters of this huge company, and I'm going to move it to me?
Yes, absolutely. You're the head guy.
In that case.
And it's been done. What do we sit here
I'd
and
love
hope?
to run Walmart.
What do we sit that hope Bezos won't do? Leave here and move there. You can do it. You can move your company right
I'll
here.
do it then.
All right, then.
Walmart has been in Arkansas since its inception. That might you might get a little pushback.
So had Clinton, and then he moved on when he became president. Wasn't he the mayor of Little Rock, Arkansas, or the governor of Arkansas?
Yeah, he was the governor of Arkansas.
You can move.
Ben and Jerry's. Somebody texted in 90627. Ben and Jerry's would be the best because you'd sit around all day taste testing ice cream.
Yep.
Although they'd probably need to run a gym too if they're going to run Ben and Jerry's and sit around eating ice cream all day.
You guys remember I did work, one of my very first ever jobs was at Baskin Robbins, and I eventually got fired because what did we all do? Sit around and ate ice cream all day.
You can't do that. All right, ready? Here's the best one. Live Nation.
Yeah, go to every concert.
Every single concert I
concert.
ever wanted to in any city I thought was cool. I'll take our private jet. They got to have a private jet.
Definitely.
They took it over from Pearl Jam or whoever left their private jet at the station. So I say Live Nation.
Andrew in Kent texted in. He says he'd like to run the Moonlight Bunny Ranch because, the perks.
Yeah, the perks. Did you know you have to please Dennis Hoff to get the job there?
Oh, that's terrible.
Wow.
That's terrible, man. You feel like, well, they're young ladies. It was their choice, whatever. That's gross. That
is
guy's,
gross.
everything about that guy's gross.
And he's in a relationship.
With Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah, that's super weird, man.
Super weird.
Although maybe she has to sample the wares as well.
Well, sure she does. She's his girlfriend.
No, I mean, check out to make sure everybody working there is also
Oh, of
up
the
to
new
snuff.
talent coming in? She wants
Yeah.
to check them out as well?
She might have to.
Yeah, maybe. I'd pay a little extra for that.
Somebody also texted in, being the head of Honey Bucket would be a pretty crappy job.
What company would be the best or worst to run is the question we're asking at 800-252-1025. Good morning, Kelly and Quilcene.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
What do you think?
Harley Davidson.
Is it best or worst?
Best.
Well, I'll tell you, they're moving out of York, Pennsylvania, where they first started. I believe they're keeping offices, so they're in transition. But I think it's the boss there is doing really good bikes. They just sent out a crotch rocket type bike, first one ever for Harley Davidson, and an electric motorcycle that goes really super fast.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I'm with Kelly, though, to run an iconic American brand. And
Yeah.
if you're a bike rider, too, you get to ride all the different bikes you want. And then your neighbors hate you because you're super loud.
Yeah. Oh, I never made my bikes loud for that exact reason. You can't hear
Really?
it's no louder than my scooter or Amy's scooter. Yeah. I never did that. I have to work at 4 a.m. Fast way to get hated.
Yeah, I've definitely lived around Harley Davidsons that set off the fire, not the fire alarms, the car alarms
Right.
in my neighborhood. Well, what company would be the best or the worst to run? Let's hear from Kenny in historic Kent.
Hey, Kenny. Kenny and Kent.
Hey, what's up, Danny?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how about Northwest Private Reserve? Let's grow some weed.
You know, Kenny, you sound like a guy. If I was going to go get high today with somebody that called up the show, I think it would be you.
It would be Kenny.
You know, let's just go get some. We'll buy some weed and we'll go get high. Right after the show. All right, Kenny, I'm on my way over.
Well, not only would you get to sample all of your wares, but you're probably making a lot of loot.
Yeah, most
That'd be
likely.
Pretty sweet.
And a growing industry, too. Not just growing.
That was all right, man. That was okay.
Not just in that sense.
Ken and Everett, what do you think? A company that would be the best or the worst to run?
Oh, this would definitely be the best, and maybe sometimes the worst. But I'd love to run KZOK so I can hang out with you guys all day.
Oh, definitely the
Well,
worst.
You definitely want to go as, hey, I like your show. Can I visit sometime? Because we all tell nobody actually runs this company, which I think is a little bit odd. So maybe it'd be a fine job.
Yeah, Ken, come on down and join us and see just what that job would entail.
All right. Has anybody said Disney yet?
No?
No.
I'll run Disney.
That'd be awesome.
Although it could be best and worth, depending on if you're also involved in the entertainment side of that, besides the amusement park run. They're real tough over there.
Oh,
They're not a friendly group, or at least they weren't for 100 people that I know that worked for them, and they weren't that pleasant to me when I worked for them.
No,
So-
I've heard they're very difficult to work for. And Danny, the strict rules, I think it would be difficult for you to work for.
Yeah. Why?
to
What are the
run
strict rules?
company. Strict rules?
Yeah.
Everything has got to be done specifically. Like there is no messing up at Disney. You mess up, you're fired.
Well, see, but you're missing the point of being the head guy.
Yeah.
You're in charge.
Now
You
I can
make the
change that
rules.
rule. Now you can mess up. People who mess up get $3. See, look how easy that is. I hit the gavel. That was my knuckles, and they hurt.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked at Disney in Orlando and said you had to live where they told you to live. You had to shop where they told you to shop because there was only one place to shop and they owned it. They owned the banks. They owned everything.
Well, then I hate them a lot less than your friend does because they paid me a fortune until they canceled me.
Several people texting in saying they want to run the banks. Goldman Sachs was
Yeah.
a big answer.
Didn't Goldman Sachs go under? Is there still a Goldman Sachs?
No, it got bailed out, right?
Got bailed out. Right.
So the U.S. Treasury, people want to run that. People want to run the
Oh,
Federal
good one.
Reserve
Yeah.
Bank.
Yep,
The
yep.
U.S. Treasury, they literally print the money. Yeah, I want to run that.
Yeah,
Give me the
too.
money.
Tori, what do you think is a company that would be the best or worst to run?
I want to run Bosendorfer pianos. They're super, super expensive, so I know I'm going to be dealing with rich people and famous people, which is all I like.
Yeah, I know. I realize that.
Makes sense. Not Steinway, Bosendorf.
Yeah, super expensive.
Bosendorf.
There you go.
It's the famous piano for midgets, isn't it? Isn't Dorf a famous? No,
That's
Dorf's a famous.
Bosendorf.
He's a dwarf.
Oh, I don't know.
Dorf?
Is Bosendorf is a dwarf?
No, Dorf. Famous dwarf. Plays
I don't
golf. Sells tapes.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Is his
name's
name
Dorf.
All right.
All right.
Derek, what is a company that you think would be the best or the worst to run?
The best would be Nike. You're making boatloads of cash, partying with athletes, and business trips to Beijing to check on your factory.
Right, exactly.
He's right.
He is right.
Nike's a great call.
That would be a great one. All right, for my own fun then, how about Les Paul?
Yeah.
Now I can try out all their guitars and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Thanks for the calls and texts. We will be back in just a few moments with the news. A jackknife semi-truck snarled traffic late last night on I-5 in Tacoma, injuring 6 and then snarling traffic even this morning for hours. The semi-driver was on southbound I-5, 11:30 last night. He jackknifed, struck the barrier, and separated the barrier that separated the two directions of traffic.
You know, just because he crashed doesn't make him a semi-driver. He's a driver.
He's a full-on
He's
driver.
a full-on driver. He's not a semi-driver.
Well, another truck driver then hit the barrier, and 5 other vehicles were involved, one of which rolled over on its side. 6 people taken to hospitals, 1 seriously injured and in the ICU. Troopers are still investigating what led up to the crash. They don't believe the driver was impaired, but they still want to know what happened.
Rough hour of the morning. Like, I watched it as a big deal starting, I think, at 4:30, and it looked like it was already been going on a long time.
11:30 last night.
Wow.
Just got cleared up. That's
It's cleared up? Good.
Derek, is it completely cleared up, or are there still some snarls down there?
It is all clear.
Great, thank you. The United States and Canada confirmed last night they had reached a deal on a new modernized trade agreement, which is designed to replace the 1994 NAFTA pact. In a joint statement, the two nations said that this new deal will be called United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. I feel like
isn't that the slogan for the Marines?
USMC, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're adding the A for something.
For Canada. MCA.
A for Canada.
Yeah.
A, yeah.
Yeah, they should have switched to United States, Canada, Mexico.
Or just call it NNAFTA, New NAFTA. Why not New NAFTA?
New NAFTA.
Because I feel that there's some improvements made, but I don't believe almost anybody who told me that.
Right, but it's still between the countries of North America. So why would you change that to?
Because, well, he's the one, the president said this is terrible. We're getting robbed. You can't go, oh, it's much better now. Keep the exact same name. You got to change the name.
Well, Donald Trump is presently giving a speech talking about this new deal. And later on this afternoon, Justin Trudeau expected to address the crowds as well.
And this is in D.C. or in Canada or everywhere?
They're in there. I believe that they're done now. They were pictured together last night, but I'm going to guess Trump pieced out and that he's speaking from the White House or one of his Trump estates.
Right.
Yeah.
Golf course, from the golf course.
Maybe. The first Nobel of the year is out, and an American and a Japanese researcher are sharing the prize for medicine. The winners are James Allison from the University of Texas and Tasuku Honjo of Japan's Kyoto University. These two researchers did not work together, but both made independent breakthroughs in the same field, figuring out ways to help the body's own immune system fight cancer.
Well, and you know what? You knew one of them was going to be an American who won. We win a ton. The Japanese don't win a lot of Nobel Prizes. They said, and I looked into this a little bit, they said in school and especially college, genius is discouraged. Don't stand out and be the smartest and the bestest. Make your team the bestest and the smartest. So they win very few Nobel Prizes compared to Americans.
Well, they are sharing it. Despite not having worked as a team, they are sort of being viewed as a team working towards the same thing, which is fighting cancer. Pretty cool. If I asked you what state has the most McDonald's in America, Danny, what would you guess?
I'm going to go New York State.
And Paul, the state with the most McDonald's is?
California.
I'm sorry, Danny, but Paul is correct.
Oh, I knew it had to be one of the ones with the most people.
Most people, yeah.
It's the state where more than half of America's fruits, vegetables, and nuts are grown, and they have the most McDonald's. Highest number, 1,295. On the other end of the spectrum, anyone want to guess the state with the fewest number of McDonald's?
Washington.
Alaska. Hawaii.
Well, which one, Paul?
Hawaii.
Well, these are good guesses.
They are, but he's wrong.
Montana.
North Dakota.
North Dakota. It kicks ass in all the other Dakotas.
25 in the entire state. And I know there are not a lot of people there, and it's spread out and all.
Yeah, that is one per resident.
There's 8 guys. They have to eat there 3 times just to count.
And I'm not exactly sure who had so much time on their hands that they felt like delving into this, but they did. There are 14,000 McDonald's around the country, which is 4.28 restaurants for every 100,000 Americans nationwide.
It's a good business plan, I guess.
They're doing okay.
Yeah. McDonald's.
McDonald's.
For the first time ever, a strain of hepatitis E.
What?
That heretofore only affected rats and ferrets has infected a human.
Oh. Hepatitis E.
E.
How do you spell that?
E.
No, hepatitis. You can't spell E.
A 56-year-old man in Hong Kong has contracted hepatitis E.
Did you get bit by a rat or something?
They're trying to figure it out. They said it could have been a bite. It could have been close proximity because number 2 and
Did it with Pam
number
Anderson?
1.
Any of those things could cause it.
Now, the man who had so-called rat hepatitis is cured. He got the disease, and they said they're not entirely positive if it was a contraction or if it was he had been in the hospital for treatment. It could have been an infection from the hospital.
So is it worse? Because for me, it's always been hepatitis C. Once you get that, it's a death knell. Then they said just very recently they cured it. Pamela Anderson does not show hepatitis in her system anymore.
Yeah.
C.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But that's C. So I would think E is like could totally beat up C.
I think A and B are still forever ones.
Oh, so A and B are the worst? So
Well,
E's
but
like,
they do the
nah.
least. They do the least damage by far compared to C.
Yeah, and I think I can never remember the difference between A and B, but one of them is foodborne, and you can get from poorly treated foods and water. Like,
One's a consonant and one's a vowel.
yeah.
It's the best I can do.
E sounds pretty bad because it's called rat
See,
hepatitis.
rat hepatitis,
Exactly.
and
I
it's
don't want
E,
that.
way out there in front of C.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a D.
You skipped over D and went
Yeah.
to E. It must be really bad.
But Tori, do you still have a rat?
I do. I have 2 of them.
I wasn't positive. I figured I'd start with one and then ask
move,
about the
move
second.
up the food chain, so to speak.
They don't have hepatitis.
Okay,
You
good.
sure?
Do you want me to check?
Yes.
Okay.
Just look
I'll
under the
lick it.
tail.
You'll do what?
I'll lick the rat.
I thought she said, and then I went back for more, and she said it again. God bless her heart.
That's our Tori. And police in Florida have arrested a man after another man reported seeing him on camera going through his refrigerator. The victim told police he was asleep in his home when he was woken up by a noise. He checked his camera system, his security system on his phone, and saw a man he didn't know going through his
Does
refrigerator.
it strike anybody else as weird how many people have cameras in their house?
It's part
For
of the...
if somebody breaks in, that
For
way you
whatever
have 'em
reason.
on camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, I find it super odd. Remember, it was the football player that got convicted of murder?
Yeah. And there were cameras.
There were all these cameras in his house, and we all discussed how bizarre that is because they're in all the, not even necessarily private areas, but certainly public, living room, kitchen. That just seems like an invasion to me.
I think
of
it's
it
part
is-
of a security system now.
Yeah, no, it
because you
is.
want to catch it on film if somebody breaks in and is doing something.
That's exactly right.
And part of it is that a lot of our appliances now have them. Refrigerators, a lot of stoves.
Oh, your cable box is watching you for sure.
Is that right? Wait, what?
People say that. People say there's a camera on your cable box or
But they say
cover up your
that,
webcam
right.
with electrical tape.
But there's not a refrigerator they sell that is equipped with a camera for surveillance, is there?
Not for surveillance. It's meant to track what you have in there.
Oh, like
and
a smart fridge.
a smart fridge. There are smart fridges. There are smart ovens.
and these things take pictures?
They can show you when you're not home what's inside your refrigerator. So you
it's
can shop.
it's a camera facing into your refrigerator.
But I'm just
Not
shocked that it's a
outside,
camera.
yeah.
I'm just shocked
So-
that there's a camera in your fridge.
If there's a dude who opens up the refrigerator and sticks his head in, is looking around,
Yeah.
that smart refrigerator can capture it. But
Right, which means
also-
all of us opening our fridge if we had that.
Sure.
It's going somewhere to the cloud. I don't dress all the time when I'm going to get some lettuce.
But only you would be seeing it in theory, or
In theory.
your wife. Yeah, but I don't
You
know.
and everyone else at that company
everybody else
has
that need
access
of
to it.
lettuce.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been tracking this at all, but there's a string of robberies among musicians and athletes because the public knows when they're not home.
Yeah.
So Yasiel Puig, who plays for the Dodgers, has had his home broken into 5 times because it's the middle of the season. The
Sure.
dude's not home. And it's been happening to musicians like, oh, we know that
I
Steve
remember.
and Becky are on the road. Let's go break
We
into their
reported it
house.
right here on KZOK. I remember.
So, I mean, I know it seems a little weird to have cameras inside your house, but
Well, in my house is littered with them. I had to take them out. The lady that lived there
Should've left
before
them
me
in.
put them everywhere. I left the one facing the Space Needle.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how to download it or anything, but it just seems weird in our appliances, man. One in our vacuum? That sucks. Sorry.
Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant says he has finally gotten back his original wedding ring decades after it first went missing. Someone found it in an old couch. Now, the good news is it did belong to him. It'd be kind of weird if it belonged to like some lady and it was her couch. No, they had a couch back in the 1980s and they were ready to move on from the couch. So they said, free, take it. And never noticed that at the time when he was giving this couch away, his wedding ring went missing.
I kind of hate that, by the way.
That he didn't notice? Or
No, that all over my neighborhood, there's several different things that they say the word free on them. It's like, why don't you write the word trash on them and be done with it?
Well, a good thing for him that he didn't in this case, because all these years later, somebody finally went through that couch looking for spare change and found the wedding ring.
Couple quick questions. One, how long ago was it?
1989.
And two, is he still married to that lady?
He is.
All right, those are the big important questions. Because otherwise, who cares?
So pretty
This is
cool.
like my third wedding ring because I keep losing them. Like at the first one, Amy really cared. I said, "Shut up! It was $300. I'll get another one. We'll be all right. I'm sorry I lost the $300, but whatever. It doesn't mean anything that I love you more and/or less because I'm lazy."
It's the third ring in the same marriage?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, getting to all my marriages like ring number 27.
Consumers will spend around $9 billion on Halloween this year, according to the National Retail Federation. And they are noting one specific area is seeing a growing trend. People are spending more money on pet costumes.
Oh, I would not have gotten that.
Now, they'll spend a lot of money on the usual suspects. Candy, decorations, more candy, some greeting cards, but then pet costumes.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't think for my cat. I put a Seahawks outfit on my cat one time and took a picture, but she hated it. It was a big thing. Some dogs seem to love that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go give me a French Bulldog and a Seahawks outfit.
Now, you've got a Chihuahua, Paul, doesn't Holiday,
Yeah, we have
your
all
wife?
kinds of little outfits for him, little sweaters.
Yeah,
and
I borrowed some of your dog sweaters.
he's got a
remember?
Seahawks jersey, yeah.
Now, will Holiday dress the dog up in something new each year?
No, we kind of have like a set little wardrobe for him, and we just rotate through it.
Right.
Luckily, she stopped buying that crap.
Do you dress up?
Do I dress up for Halloween?
Yeah.
I guess I take the kid out.
Cool. Does she?
Trick or
Does
treat.
Holiday?
Yeah, she does.
That's awesome.
It's
That's a
fun.
cool little family thing you got going on there.
The most popular costume choice for pets is a pumpkin, hot dog, bumblebee, also the most popular ones.
Okay.
And of those who will be giving out candy, Skittles are the most popular, alongside M&M's, Snickers, Reese's, Starburst, candy corn, hot tamales, and Hershey's.
All right. I'll eat almost all
Yeah,
of
those
them.
are all good.
Think of it, I will eat all
Except
of
for
that.
candy corn.
No, I'll eat them if that's all I got. I'll
You'll
just
just complain
whine the
about
whole
it,
time. Yeah, it tastes like waxy crap.
A New Hampshire man has grown a pumpkin that appears to be the largest in the nation. Now, there is an organization, believe it or not, that worldwide governs pumpkin growing contests. This
Does it
man,
grow? Does it like spill over the sides like the mom and Gilbert Grape? Just
Yeah.
where it's this
It
gross
does.
thing?
this winner, which is the North American largest, 2,528 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot of gourd.
Biggest pumpkin ever grown in North America. And yes, it is pretty unattractive.
Right, and you
blobbish.
can't chuck it.
Nope.
Because this will break all the pieces when it's just used. You can't even break a pie out of it, right?
No, and not. I don't think it's a sugar pumpkin. Those are the only ones.
Yeah,
you can
it's
make into
craziness.
Pie. He
It's
did
gonna be
win.
tough to
Sounds like
carve it.
Yeah, it sounds like a double nickname though. Sugar pumpkin. If I'm to the south, Rob.
How you doing, sugar pumpkin?
It's all
Bless
good
your
sugar.
heart.
Yeah, bless their heart.
He did win $6,000.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good. Still not the biggest one in the world, though. That went to a man in Belgium 2 years ago. His was a hair bigger, 2,624.
We lost to a Belgium.
Yep, a Belgian.
I don't like the Belgiums. No, I'm being rude. Those Belgiums. What are
The
they up
Belges.
to? Those Belgies.
And
Yeah, I feel better now. I called him a Belgie.
Police in Ohio have reported a dead body spotted on the side of a road was not what people believed it to be. So lots of 911 calls. Oh my gosh, Becky. Not sure why they call the cops that person.
Yeah.
Cops arrived at the scene and there was the body wrapped in a garbage bag. They approached it. They made a perimeter. They approached it and said, "What is this?" It's a doll.
A big doll.
It was a realistic mannequin. Now, at first they said it looks like it might be a sex doll, but definitely one of those, not a blow up for like a bachelor party.
Right.
A
Like,
good one.
By the way, what year did mannequins start getting nipples? That's pretty weird if
It's
you
just
ask
a couple
me.
of years ago, yeah,
Wasn't that
out of
long ago,
nowhere.
my mannequins were smooth, but
Yeah.
now they're all nippling.
It's
The
very
way you
odd.
look, they're nippling. I don't know why they do that with their fingers.
I don't know why you're doing that with your fingers.
Well,
I'm
it's
pretending
important.
he's not doing that with his
I'm doing.
fingers.
I'm also hypnotizing you. Good.
Zombie raccoons have
What?
not
What? I'm sorry.
Zombie
That's
raccoons.
what I thought she said.
have been spotted all over New York and they have not gotten it contained. They are now up to 176 zombie raccoons that have been spotted in Central Park in New York. They are now starting to see them in the Bronx. They are now starting to see them in Brooklyn. Zombie raccoons are real, and they get aggressive, and no word on whether or not they go brains.
Yeah, are they dead?
Are they undead?
Yeah,
They
undead. Yeah, thank you.
They are sick and appear to be zombie-like.
Are they rabid? Is that what it is? They have rabies?
They don't have rabies. That's the weird part.
Yeah, Paul.
It's
That's the
zombies.
weird part. They're zombies. They died and came back to life.
Yeah.
Here's what's super
That's
weird.
not the weird part, though. The weird part is that they don't have rabies.
That
Yes.
is odd.
The zombies are actually
An okay band.
raccoons that have gotten canine distemper virus.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds a lot like rabies.
They got bit by a dog.
Who had rabies?
I don't think so. Who had distemper, which is much more common.
Now they're trying to figure out how to end this outbreak because we know what happens next.
Well, I'm pretty sure that most reasonable people know how to end the outbreak.
Yeah.
You go shoot them all.
Well, they're trying to do so humanely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
humanely
would
shoot
like
'em.
everything I shoot to be humanely shot.
Just do it the one time.
And then if they, after I shoot them, they start rolling around and screaming, I think, you are not helping me here. So I shoot them again. But that one's not humanely.
But they're zombies, so I don't know that you can.
Doesn't matter.
You got to do it in the
Scoop
head.
out their brains.
Houston city officials have ordered a halt, at least temporarily, to a Canadian company's plan to open the robot brothel in their city.
Oh, we were talking about this, and I'm against it.
Well, the kinky doll was supposed to, the kinky sex dolls, they were supposed to open up this brothel, and some people in the neighborhood did not want it. But according to building inspectors, they don't have the right permits. So you can't open your kinky sex doll club until you get the right permits.
What permits are the right permits for a kinky sex doll brothel?
The robot brothel permits.
So weird.
Indeed.
Indeed.
You know what's awesome and not weird?
What's awesome and not weird?
Money for nothing on KZOK.
Totally awesome and not weird.
13 chances to win $1,000 every single day. $1,000 could be yours. Now, if you want to take it to Houston, so be it. But you do need to text the new keyword to 200-200. You're listening for that keyword, which will happen about 9:10 this morning. So you've got that coming up. Music news, entertainment, and sports all next.
This traffic report is sponsored by Farmers Insurance. We have some stop and go traffic starting in Federal Way on I-5 northbound between 320th Street and 188th Street, and some minor delays in Renton 405 northbound as you head between Highway 515 and 44th Street. From a massive cactus falling on a home to a deer dancing on a car's hood, they've covered it. Talk to Farmers Insurance. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Starting with music news, we know Dave Grohl recently did a very long song where he just played all the instruments.
Right.
And now those instruments are being put up for auction, with proceeds benefiting organizations that help young generations of new musicians learn how to play. This is a sale hosted by a company called Reverb, which starts on the 9th, runs through the 21st, and all of the stuff being interviewed will be autographed and donated by Dave Grohl. So he said he was motivated to do this after seeing his own kids start to play music, take lessons, brought me back to when I was their age, and you never really do stop learning, and he wants to help kids do
All
that.
right, well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
You go, Dave Grohl.
Over the weekend, Kanye West did a last-minute fill-in gig on SNL. He was wearing a Make America Great hat. He was vocal with his support for Trump. He did not get many cheers, got a couple of boos. But right before he took to the stage, Kanye West announced at age 41 he is changing his name.
Really?
Really?
And is not adding Kardashian to it or anything like that.
Oh, his middle name should be Key. Kanye Key West.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
He says, Yee. Y-E.
Yee.
Nope.
Yee has long been a nickname, and he said that there's a personal significance. I believe ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible. So I will now be known as ye.
What if he's wrong about that?
I'm sure there's somebody who has gone through the Bible with a toothpick. No? A fine tooth comb?
Sure, whatever you got. It doesn't matter to me.
Either way.
And all that stuff is digitized now. We could probably figure it out.
Okay, if I had to pick, I might go with begat.
Yeah, there's a lot of begatting.
A lot of
in there.
begatting in there. Certainly
Just in the beginning, though.
In the new edition with Bobby Brown. He says it all the time.
Maybe, Derek, you can look that up and see if somebody knows if it is ye, the most common word used in the Bible. I was thinking Lord.
It is the word and.
Yeah,
Does that
wouldn't
count?
surprise me.
I mean, does it
It's a
count?
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a
That
lot
is
of
the
times,
most common word in the Bible.
A lot of times they don't count and a and the.
Yeah, no, I'm with you that they often don't. But if you're gonna go right now, hey, is ye the most? The answer is no, it's not.
So Kanye's going to have to change his name again to and.
To and Kanye and West. I don't mind it actually.
Oh, it's just and.
Oh,
Who's performing on SNL? And.
He also said that he was releasing a new album on Saturday, and that's why they booked him to be the replacement, the fill-in.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a new album. He hadn't recorded one.
Is he
wasn't
lying or is he
releasing
crazy?
one. He's crazy for sure.
crazy,
But I think
man.
he was also crazy and lying.
Can you imagine the Kardashians are saying, "What's wrong with this guy?"
The new album is called Yandi, and
It doesn't exist. He had a song.
Is
that
it a
he
reference-
performed a song off
is-
of it, but there was no.
Is it a reference to Gandhi?
yeah, like Yeezus was his
Yeah,
other album.
right.
Yeah.
They said there are problems with the sound and that his fans were pretty pissed that he didn't release it, but he's working on the details.
Yeah, man, this poor guy is so crazy.
Speaking of, Charlie Sheen is
Speaking of,
challenging the IRS. He is claiming that the Internal Revenue Service is throwing him into financial turmoil by filing a gigantic lien against him and then not allowing him to use a payment plan. He owes what was 4.9 and is now up to $5.7 million.
and even with all his weirdness and his tirade and his illnesses and his divorce and his, I still think he has it.
But to just write a check for $5 million.
I know it hurts when I do it.
Yeah, I don't know, Danny. It does seem like he was so rich that he should be able to pay his taxes.
It does.
But I'm also surprised they wouldn't set up a payment plan. Maybe
I mean,
they know he
maybe they
has
just
it.
hate him like the rest of the country.
I'm seeing a current net worth of $20 million.
There
so.
you go. That's what I figured.
Well, and he's got child support, and he's
Big
houses
child support,
and-
crazy child support that was given out on the highest day of his income.
Well, he's fighting it, and we'll see who reigns victorious. You don't usually
Everybody
win
who
those
has ever
battles.
divorced me when I had the very most money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart on their part.
Yeah, it is. All of them were smart.
And Tiffany Haddish, Night School, despite the bad reviews, debuted at number 1, $28 million.
Wow, that's real dough.
Smallfoot did pretty well. That
Yeah.
was the Yeti movie.
It was really funny. We went to see it, but I was really surprised. We went at 5 p.m, and there was maybe a third of the theater full.
Oh.
And there were a lot of showings, so you spread that out. But I expected it to be a full theater.
Well, at $28 million, it's not like they sat empty.
Yeah.
23 for
23.
Smallfoot. So 28 went to Night School, 23 million Smallfoot, both of them on their debut weekend. The House with a Clock on Its Walls at number 3, its second weekend out. A Simple Favor at number 4. The Nun still holding strong at 5.4. That movie has been doing insanely good numbers. And Hellfest was at number 6.
All right.
That's how they say it. I don't
Of course they do.
Hellfest.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. So much action during yesterday's Seahawks game. Of course, beating the Arizona Cardinals 20-17 in Arizona. Now, a lot of people talking about Janikowski. Missed a couple of field goals, but then got in the one that mattered. A lot of people talking about the injuries. Will Dissly carted off the field with a patella injury.
No. I'm telling you, that hurts.
And then, of course, there is Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas, season-ending and potentially career-ending injury. Pete Carroll says it is a lower leg fracture, similar to the season-ending injury that he suffered in the same leg 2 years ago.
Yeah, one that he thought was going to end his career. He thought retirement for sure.
Well, he was right, just early.
Yeah.
Now, we are not getting an update yet on Will Dissly and how long he's going to be out, but with a broken leg, safe to say we will not be seeing Earl Thomas again.
Right. And he flipped off our bench. There's a chance you're not going to see him again.
Yeah,
There's a chance we won't want to see him
right.
again.
And I think he knew he was done, and that's why he let that frustration out.
Now, up next, we are playing the Rams next Sunday, 1:25. Thankfully, it's at home. They were victorious, a close game, but 38-31 for their last game. The Rams have a pretty tough team this year.
Yeah.
But we got this.
Yeah, I think we do.
We do. Next Sunday, 1:25 on Q13. They are lowering the prices when you go to those Seahawks game, but it's always nice to have a little extra money in your pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. Your chance to put $1,000 in your pocket right now. Just text that word to 200 for your chance to win.
Right on.
Adam Vinatieri is now the all-time NFL leader in field goals, 566. He hit a 42-yarder, which for some is kind of no big deal. He's not known for his distance. He's known for accuracy, though. He is now kicked more than Mort Anderson, who previously held the record. He is 45 years old. Oldest player, and he is in great shape, so who knows, we might see him again at 46 next season.
That sounds like he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
We got a younger player, and we're not doing that hot with him.
A Miami Dolphins fan suffered a freak injury when he was at the stadium to cheer on his team, and he's now considering legal action. This guy was waiting for a drink at the stadium bar when a heavy piece of marble slab fell off the bar and landed on his foot. He had to undergo emergency surgery. He said he was wearing a shoe. He wasn't wearing like flip-flops, so he thought it wasn't that bad. But then they took off his shoe, noticed the severe bleeding, and he had to have a portion of his toe amputated.
Who doesn't take the whole toe?
That's a good question.
I think your toe looks like a wreck, but I'm just going to use a melon scooper, get part of it.
I would think they would take as little as possible.
See, I would think they just hack off a toe and be done. The white play around and be
You
all
want to give
day.
me your whole foot?
No, but I'd give up a toe.
Yeah.
I'll totally give up a toe. Although, what's your price? Because I'll give up a leg from the knee down. You got the right price.
I'm pretty sure if you
$25 million.
If you get rid of your big toe, you can't walk.
Wrong.
They said that you need like a prosthetic because there is no way to
It's hard to balance. It's a tougher thing, but those people walk on fake legs, so they don't need a big toe. But it does make things harder. But back to the game, $25 million you can hack off my leg with a chainsaw.
Coming up tomorrow at 7:20.
Be here for that 7:20, hacking a leg off.
We just got to get a sponsor to kick in the $25 million. I'm a little.
You
short.
don't have the money. You don't even come. Don't come to the show with a chainsaw tomorrow.
Okay.
Baseball. The Mariners wrapped up their season by sweeping the Rangers.
Nice.
They finished 2018 with a
World
record.
Series, baby.
No, but
It's not how it works. We sweep the Rangers.
Sounds like what I heard.
They do finish the season with a winning record of 89-73. Now, a lot of teams are headed to the World Series. And
Probably just two.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not the Mariners. However, today we have two tiebreaker games because of a tie.
Tie, yeah.
The Dodgers.
Don't they just go extra innings? I didn't think they could end in a tie.
No, that's football, man.
The Dodgers and the Rockies both won. Those teams will now square off in a tiebreaker game. That will decide who will be the National League West Championship and
Kanye.
And who will play in Tuesday's National League
Kanye is the
Wild Card
winner of the
game.
West thing.
The winner of the Dodgers-Rockies tiebreaker will match up against the Braves in the NLDS and host Game 1. So this is a crucial series. Super exciting. One of them starts in less than an hour, 10:05, and the next game starts at 1:09, both games on ESPN.
Danny is on the edge of his seat. You're going to watch baseball that doesn't involve our team.
I bought the whole seat, but I only need the edge.
College football, UW defeated BYU 35-7. WSU defeated the Utes 28-24. What is a Ute?
What is a Ute?
Next Saturday, UW UCLA 4:30. WSU versus Oregon State 6 p.m. Sounders action over the weekend. They beat the Colorado Rapids by 4-0.
Nice.
They play a week from today against the Houston Dynamo with a 7:30 start time.
Ooh, the Dynamo. Not a bad name.
No?
Terrible team, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, their next 3 games are against terrible teams, so that's really good.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And the United States has continued world dominance.
World dominance.
One of the biggest stages for women's basketball, the Women's Basketball World Cup, happened last night. And of course, we won, beaten up on Australia 73-56. This victory gave Sue Bird a 4th World Cup gold medal, a 5th medal overall in the tournament. Both are the most for any player.
Nice.
Brianna Stewart, who scored 10 points in the final, was named MVP. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUI-OA. Big show coming up tomorrow. We will once again play German for what?
German for what?
9 Achterlüben.
That
I think
might
those
be
are words.
tomorrow's
Spoiler alert.
clue.
Oh, man, I feel terrible.
99 Luftballons.
The prize
Oh,
is
don't do that.
$720. A pair of tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest happening Friday through Sunday at the Washington State Fair Event Center. And at 7:50, I will hand deliver a filthy forecast.
All right. I'll tell you what, speaking of Oktoberfest, I know the man that put the hose in Lederhosen. I think. Anyway, he makes him look good, and he's the only one that can do it, and that'd be my friend Steve Slade, who's going to march right into this room. Very nice. And play a whole bunch of classic rock for your listening pleasure, because that's just the way he rolls. We'll get out of his way, so bye.
Morgan.